Hello and welcome to the Con Couple. I'm Richard,
I'm Caroline.
and we go to a
I
frankly,
didn't mess up the introduction until now.
and we go to a frankly terrifying number of cons
I would
every
say we
year.
go to too few cons.
Again, if I was like even semi-professional, I'd edit that out, but I'm not, so I won't.
And, this could be somebody's first episode and they know exactly how professional we are.
Yep,
We need better microphones.
we do. It's on the list.
Is it?
Maybe, I don't know.
We were at GalaxyCon this weekend. Well, we're still going to GalaxyCon because it's in Columbus. This is when we record in segments because the drive to Columbus is not back. And we believe that you guys out there are entitled to a 3-hour long episode if you want one.
Yep,
I don't think anyone does, but you're going to get one anyway.
yep. So yeah, the drive back and forth on this one's only about an hour.
Yeah.
So we are recording this first part on Friday night.
We'll record again on Saturday and again on Sunday and just kind of mesh them together.
Yeah. Again, it'll be one long episode, but we'll see how it all ends up working out in that regard. It's not like Origins where I split it into multiple parts. Actually, for the YouTube version of the Origins one, I combined it back into a 4.5-hour episode. Actually, it might have been 6. Anyway, so yeah, GalaxyCon. GalaxyCon. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So, GalaxyCon is probably the single most corporate con we go to.
Yes.
By
Fan
a
Expo
lot.
is also corporate, but Fan Expo at least feels like a little bit more heart to it than GalaxyCon.
Yeah.
That said, I do want to remind our loyal listeners of our rules. Corporate cons don't get treated with kid gloves. We're paying a lot of money for this.
Yep.
This is people's full-time jobs.
Yep.
We expect to have stuff run to a T.
Yep.
And we will complain about it.
And we will complain.
In a way that we would not with like a home style corporate or non-corporate con, because these are mistakes that you guys should not be making. You're doing, pretty much 20 shows a year or more at this point.
Yeah. Like I maintain GalaxyCon is just expanding too damn fast.
Yeah.
Like you can see the exhaustion in the eyes of half the people working.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, GalaxyCon is a brand that seems to have primarily, I know that they started in Florida because I have followed the directory. They were originally called something else. I'll see if I can look that up. And since then, particularly post-pandemic, they've expanded into a lot of markets very rapidly with Animate, which is supposed to be their anime focus, but it's also kind of Western animation / also kind of general pop culture. GalaxyCon, which is definitely their main show, and for the one in Columbus, by far the most crowded.
Yep.
We also have Animate in Columbus, which we reviewed earlier. And they also have Halloween nights, which they are then also combining with Animate in some additional cities.
Because, again, part of the problem is they seem to be of the opinion that if you do the con stuff, you will get people coming to it because con.
I mean, this con is wildly successful. That's not why.
It is, which kind of annoys me. Because this con. It bothers me to see this many people turn out to an event that's this soulless, I'm not going to lie.
It definitely has some soul, but it's like, I don't know. Fan Expo definitely feels like, while Fan Expo's policies are worse, Galaxy just doesn't seem to have the same like feel good vibes that Fan Expo does, and it might seem a little bit unfair that we're comparing the two, but it makes the most sense. They are the two corporate cons that are in our area, so we're going to be comparing them.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth comparing them because they are also by far the most expensive cons.
Yeah.
And I want to emphasize that GalaxyCon tickets, if you are paying full price for them, are $150 or $130, excuse me, for the entire weekend for one person.
It's near enough 150 once you factor in the fees and the taxes and all that.
It is above $300 full price above fees, which is exorbitant.
Yeah. You ain't worth that, GalaxyCon. I'm going to tell you that for free now.
Well, apparently they are, because a lot of people are coming.
Yep. Which kind of, again, yeah.
So I'm going to list off the current events, because I have them.
Yeah.
So, we have Animate Miami, GalaxyCon Raleigh, Animate Raleigh, GalaxyCon Richmond, Nightmare Weekend Richmond, GalaxyCon Columbus, Animate Columbus, GalaxyCon Oklahoma City, GalaxyCon San Jose, GalaxyCon Des Moines, Nightmare Weekend Des Moines, you can count, Nightmare Weekend Chicago, GalaxyCon New Orleans, Animate Orlando, Animate Philadelphia, and GalaxyCon St. Louis.
16.
Yep.
So yeah, like 16 events a year on the scale at which they operate is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do not know where the hell their money comes from. Like, I think the first year we were here, we were wondering if they had the mouse behind them or something like that, but I don't think they do.
Oh, and they also are adding GalaxyCon in Milwaukee next year.
17.
They did close Nightmare Weekend in Miami, but I think, are replacing that with something else. And they're weirdly involved with something called Superstar Comic Con Savannah, which they apparently just hosted. I have a feeling that's them buying out whatever Superstar Comic Con Savannah was, and it will probably be replaced with GalaxyCon branding next year.
Probably.
So yeah, they are expanding incredibly rapidly. I think you can tell what their business strategy is, which is to basically hold Comic Cons in cities that don't have major events. Because if they don't have major events, they can be the major event in that city. It's clearly targeted. It's clearly around demographics. Everything they do is around demographic numbers. There is nothing else big in our area this weekend, which is why this con is on. And I'm not saying that's not smart business-wise. It is. But it's corporate.
It's very, very corporate. Like, I don't feel passion of this event. I just don't.
Well, this is the struggle again for me, is I do think corporate cons have their place.
Yes.
There are certain things that corporate cons can do that other cons can't in terms of what their celebrity draw is. But I also think there is a way to do a corporate con and make it fun. And I do worry that, like, the amount of Galaxy cons and the, like, level of focus on profit for both GalaxyCon and Fan Expo has gotten too far away from the fun.
Yeah.
Because there's a way to make money and still have fun. You can balance those two things.
Like, again, this kind of has the same problem that Fan Expo does, in that I don't feel like I am the customer at this event. I feel like I am the product that's being sold to the vendors hall and to the celebrity autographs. Mm-hmm. Like, it feels like they want to wring as much money out of me as possible.
Yeah, we're not buying anything this weekend. We can help it.
Nope.
Plus, going around the vendors hall in a hoop skirt's hard. So, yeah. But this event is incredibly successful. I think it's dumb to think that it's not incredibly successful. It's primarily successful on the basis of the celebrities that they bring in.
Yeah, and they do bring in a lot of celebrities. You know, again, they've got a bunch of Star Trek people, you know, including Shatner. You know, they've got, like, people from Clone Wars. They've got,
a guy from Superman and Lois who's been at every con in the area recently.
Yeah, Tyler, however you pronounce his surname.
Yeah. They got Jodie Benson, a few people. That Weird Al was here today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, they have a big celebrity draw. Mm-hmm. You know, and I suspect several of these celebrities have signed, like, some kind of deal with GalaxyCon, because they go to multiple GalaxyCon events. Mm-hmm. And I find it very interesting that, like, we were at GalaxyCon a couple of years ago, and they had several of the Star Trek actors, and they're at this one this year, and I'm wondering if they might, like, have a contract where they keep coming back to GalaxyCons or something like that. That's pure speculation. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, to what extent the autographs go to the con versus just go to the celebrity.
Yep.
So they cost money too. This event is wildly expensive.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. We freely admit, if this event wasn't in Columbus, we wouldn't go to it, because it would be too expensive to justify if we also had to have.
Well, the only tickets that are even close to this price range are Gen Con.
Mm-hmm.
And Gen Con is giving.
It's a 4-day event.
It's a 4-day event. It's in a massive city, and the money and infrastructure is actually going to creating experiences for people.
Yeah.
It's not to say that they're not also making money. They probably are.
Yeah.
But it's at least, it's good at doing what it does. For the most part, the system that it has functions well.
Whereas GalaxyCon is kind of bad at what it does.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Like, we'll get into this in more detail, but so many of the things that GalaxyCon does for a convention feels like they know they're supposed to do it, but don't understand why.
Yeah.
And the perfect example we had of that was actually a while back. Was it Animate or was it?
It was Animate.
It was Animate, where we went to a cosplay dating game panel.
Yeah, we talked about this in the Animate episode, but worth reiterating now. We went to a cosplay dating game panel with the wrestlers who we actually do really love. They're great at what they do. They're great panelists also who do some stuff for GalaxyCon. They work exclusive with GalaxyCon at this point. Like, we don't know their names or anything, but we see them because we go to a lot of their events. they were doing a dating game panel. You're dating their wrestling persona, which obviously means it's pretend. Also, all of them are married to each other and are probably one giant polycule, which we respect.
Probably, but you know.
That said, like, nobody would in that room thought, like, you're actually dating them, because cosplay dating game is what it sounds like. It's a fake dating show. You are role-playing a character.
Yeah, you're going to get a handshake, maybe a hug if everybody involved is comfortable with it.
Yeah, I got a hug. I felt respected with that hug.
Yeah.
So.
And yet, at Anime, they came in and said, hey, we need to change this to an 18-plus event in case, because you're going to be dating. And it's just like, it's a joke.
Yeah, we've played with children before. Like, you don't make sex jokes, but other than that, it's the exact same. It's pretend.
Yeah. Like, again, whereas that wasn't even the version I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we did a dating game, at one of these cons. I do not for the life of me remember if it was Anime or Galaxy.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. That was even earlier before we started the podcast.
Yeah, where he actively was clearly under the impression that he was trying to get the people in the room who were taking part of the dating game to hook up afterwards, and was just like, yep, go for it, you'll have a great time, and it's just like that's.
People were very confused.
Yeah, like that's not how it works at a con, but they just kind of don't seem to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, is what it comes down to, is it's a cargo cult con in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, they go through the motions, but they don't understand why. One of the things they've added this year to GalaxyCon is kitten adoptions. Because a lot of cons do that. But it doesn't feel like they're doing it because they have a desire to help, pets find their forever homes. It feels like they're doing it because they've seen that other cons do it, and therefore they should too.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they do all of the con things, they will be the best con.
Yeah, it's definitely confused. I will say it does have some advantages over Fan Expo if you're comparing the two big corporate cons where you get autographs. One, the rooms for the most part are just open and you can walk in and out.
Yeah.
It does have metal detectors, which are aggressively stupid.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit.
The downside is, at least at Fan Expo, the people there all seem ridiculously happy and excited to be there.
Yep.
Whereas GalaxyCon people just seem kind of tired this year.
Yeah.
And this is only one day, so we'll see if Saturday picks up at all.
We will. And again, that might be down to the time of year and all of that jazz, but generally, I don't feel like people are excited to go to GalaxyCon the way they are for a lot of other cons.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's just us projecting. It could be. Because, we were not terribly excited about this con. We put off getting tickets until relatively late just because I think we were hoping there would be a better option this weekend.
We weren't really hoping. I knew there was not going to be. There is MFC, Midwest Fur Fest in Chicago, which sounds awesome, but it's just not in the cards finals week. It's just not.
Finals week, going to Chicago is not doable.
Yeah, that's just not possible. It's not fair to my students, and I just can't manage that, so.
Because that's a 7-hour drive.
It's a 7-hour drive. I would have had to take Friday off, which I could have conceivably done, but it's just with the amount of emails I'm getting, it's just.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. This is, I will admit, a very stressful time of year for me. It won't be in 2 weeks, but once we're here, the next week's going to suck. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's just, particularly with AI and the student beast currently being what it is, it's hard.
Yeah.
Which I think I mentioned yesterday, too.
You did. And again, we can't tell to what degree we're just kind of not having a massively great time and to what extent that's our fault versus the con's fault.
Mm-hmm.
But part of it also does come down to the fact that every event or every big event at this con, they are taking so many photos for their social media, getting so many clips for their social media, that it feels like you only exist to be their marketing material.
Yeah.
Right down to the fact that after every panel on one of the big stages, they get you to do a stage selfie.
Yeah, I hate the stage selfie.
I hate it so much. Again, I'm not an antisocial person, generally. Every time they do that, I just want to be I want to stand in there and make rude hand gestures so they can't use
Well, it's
that
just I
photo.
don't really feel
Like,
don't really want to help them. Like, I don't care about their brand growing. I don't really want to help them achieve like even more success than they have. If anything, I think they should stop having success.
Yeah.
Not because I want them to fail necessarily. It's just because I think they're growing way too quickly and not able to put enough effort into the product that they're creating because they're already thinking about the next one.
Yeah. Like, you can tell that they're, like, that pretty much everybody involved is just knackered at this point. Like, the MC was trying really hard today, but I could also tell he was kind of tired.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of, it's not as bad as it was at Animate this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's at least in part because they don't really want to. The staff don't want to do Animate. They don't care about Animate. They're just required to.
Yeah. Galaxy is their baby.
Yeah.
And Animate, I actually do think I do prefer just because it's freaking less crowded. Like, I at least feel like I'm less of a piece of meat there. Just because it tends to be a little bit less crowded and about people who are actually, like, passionate about stuff. Whereas here it feels like a bunch of people just like, I'll do this, I guess. Let's go get an autograph. And that's not saying that type of, like, comic or fan isn't a bad fan. People should be able to go to any type of con for any type of reason that they want.
Yep.
It's just kind of hard to be around people who don't seem to be passionate for going.
Yeah, this kind of bums me out a little bit.
Maybe it'll get better tomorrow.
Hopefully.
It's going to be more crowded tomorrow, though. That terrifies me.
Yep. So, do we want to just kind of get chronological at this point?
Yep.
Talk about what we did today, and then we'll probably sign off.
Yeah. So, we just went from work, because we were both working.
Yep. So we got you into your ball gown in your office.
Yep, where there's a little bit of problem with the zipper, but we solved it.
Yep.
We went back to the house to get like some other supplies. Yep. I didn't go in because our dog would have an aneurysm.
Yep.
An aneurysm. And then we got on the road, got down. We wanted to get in before there was traffic.
Yeah. We beat the traffic.
We did.
It was like, a little bit right at the end, but again, when going through downtown Columbus, you're always going to hit at least some just because there's a bunch of traffic lights there. And
then just because of the weather, because it is quite cold and I'm in a ball gown, we did cave and park next to the convention center in the $30 stupid ass lot.
Yeah.
Remember when that lot was $12 3 years ago?
Oh, God, that was so nice.
And it still didn't fill.
Yeah. It was actually the fullest I've ever seen it today.
Yeah. We've been told, and I believe this, that pretty much all of the parking around GalaxyCon is sold out.
Yeah.
Because you can reserve spots in advance in Columbus for cheaper. All of it's already gone.
Yeah, we are a little concerned about parking tomorrow.
Yeah, we're hoping to get there early-ish.
Yep. Again, part of the problem is we need to pick up your medication first thing in the morning, and the pharmacy doesn't open until goddamn 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's it. The convention here does have a lot of parking around it, so.
Yeah.
And it's still not as crowded as Origins is, so.
Yeah, GalaxyCon, you're still being beaten by a board game con. Deal with it.
That actually cares.
Yeah.
That also has their own organizational problems, but at least people are trying.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got there.
Yep.
We got parked. We went inside.
How GalaxyCon works, we've talked about the Columbus Convention Center a bunch before. It's a bunch of connected buildings. It's been a while since we've talked about it, so I don't know what you want to describe it.
So, like a lot of convention centers, it's got some hotels. Specifically, it's got two kind of at one end that are kind of connected by a concourse, and then there's the main concourse that takes you into the main, convention center itself. And GalaxyCon this year is using none of the hotel space, I don't think, but they are using the whole convention space.
Which is a bit more than it does for Animate, which does tend to be a bit smaller.
Yes.
And we knew this from Animate. There were going to be metal detectors somewhere.
Yep.
Which, again, I want to emphasize is incredibly stupid.
Yes. Take the stupid metal detectors out, you morons.
Well, one, it's security theater. We all know metal detectors, particularly metal detectors that aren't even in airports or security theater. They catch nothing.
Yeah.
They're particularly dumb at cosplay conventions because most cosplays, or a lot of cosplays, have metal in them.
Mm-hmm. You're wearing a hoop skirt with spring steel under it.
Yeah. It's going to ping the thing, and I'm just it's an undergarment. What do you want me to do with it?
Yeah, half of us will be carrying keys.
Yeah.
In fact, probably more than half.
And it's just impossible to like manage generally.
So yeah, here's the thing. I maintain the only purpose for the metal detectors, it is not for security. It is to make going out and coming back in a pain in the ass so that you stay in their space.
And spend more money.
And spend more money. That's what it feels like. It does not feel like an attempt to keep me safe. It feels like an attempt to corral me so that I don't leave.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize these are definitely GalaxyCon's metal detectors.
Yes.
We've been in this convention center a bunch. They're not there any other time.
Yeah. They had them there for Animate, and they have them there now. They are not there at any, for any other convention. We actually mentioned them to somebody who works for another con who was just like, wow, that sounds dumb.
Yeah. So we got there. We got parked. Walked in. It was already stupidly crowded. The parking lot was already almost full, which it never is.
That was just weird. But yeah. So, and then we happened to bump into Bridget and James just kind of on our way over.
Yeah, well, I heard them call in. I don't think you did.
I kind of did.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't realize it was them.
I heard Rich, and I know that JP is pretty much the only person this side of the ocean that calls you that, so I figured it's probably him.
Yeah. So yeah, so we said hi to them.
Which, by the way, we do like. We're fine with the nickname. It's cute. So.
Yeah. Not a problem. But yeah, so I basically said, okay, how bad's the line? Because they come from the other direction. They're like, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically suggested you hang out with them because they were about to go, get their photos taken.
Yeah.
And I would go and just stand in the line.
Yeah. So we talked for a bit, and you can shift to the line because again, this was mostly talking and me watching them take photos. So not much review there. And the photographer was dressed very cutely as Supergirl, and her service dog was Crypto.
That's a good.
Yeah, and this dog did look a lot like Crypto.
Yeah, a bit bigger.
Yeah. And as a reminder, we don't mention people's names on this podcast without explicit permission if you are one of those people in that group. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so we, so I went and got that line, and for reference, the actual like registration booths were at the far end of the convention center, like right the way down at the other end. The line was at the bottom of the stairs. So this was a long ass line.
I will say it was not that long for the majority of the day.
Yes, I think we just got the timing a bit dodgy on that one, which again, that's going to happen sometimes. But I will say this: that line moved. It took about 20 minutes. Like it was moving surprisingly quick. I do want to give credit where it's due. The people at the registration desk were doing a bang-up job.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a lot to criticize about this con. The Reg desk team are not one of them. They did a fantastic job. We stand
Reg lines. And I want to emphasize low-level volunteers / low-level employees. I really hope for this con they're freaking paying them.
So do I.
Are people who, if there's any problems, they should not be the ones at fault.
No.
It's organizational structure stuff that deserves to be called out.
Yeah.
And again, this is people's jobs, and this is a for-profit con. People are getting paid for this. Which means they need to hold a standard, particularly for which they're charging for tickets.
So yeah, these people did a really great job.
Yeah, it only took about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And we didn't have anything we really wanted to do anyway.
Yep. It's kind of our problem with this con generally, but But yeah, so I stood in line, I got our tickets, nice and simple and straightforward, scanned the QR code that I got from Eventi. It had both our badges on the other one QR code. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You can never tell until you get there and get the QR code scanned. But I had the other QR code if I needed it as well.
Yeah.
I didn't. So got handed our 2 badges and started kind of like heading back towards you.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I did notice is the badges are cheaper than usual this year.
Yeah.
This is apparently because they had some kind of problem with their supplier, so they had to like pivot to a cheaper option at the last minute. And when I say cheaper, the way I can tell is like these are like floppy paper.
Yeah, crap. Sorry, I was trying to look up GalaxyCon's information. It's fine.
They're like slightly floppy card paper ones as opposed to the plastic ones they usually do, which are a bit sturdier. So yeah, like it's again, if that if it was just a problem with their supplier, okay, fair enough. That's gonna happen sometimes. Like again, I work for a university that recently had some fun with some marketing materials because like it took the printer that we hired to print them like a month longer than it was supposed to. You know, like again, you can't always control what external contractors do, so that's okay. But of course, in order to go back to you, I had to go back past the goddamn metal detectors, which means I had to go through the security theater again when we went back in.
Yep.
You know, and again, I had to do like empty my pockets and my bag got searched. The security theater just makes everybody miserable, guys, and I don't care what your reason for doing it is, it's a stupid reason.
It is.
It's actively making everybody's experience worse for no good
The
reason.
vast majority of cons don't do this. I know you're probably trying to be like big cons like San Diego Comic-Con or whatever, but even so, they shouldn't be doing it. There's no reason to do it. It's not actually going to stop anyone from doing anything.
Nope.
It's theater. We all know it's theater. It's dumb. And it bogs everything down.
Yep.
But I will say the line moved quickly and you were back to me relatively quickly.
Yeah, as I say, it was about 20 minutes.
So during that time, Bridget and James were still finishing up with their photo shoots. We wound up talking with, I think, the photographer's sister and her friend.
Yep. The friend we've actually met before because they were one of the people who participated in the Colossal Con in character contest.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a number of years. They actually inspired us because they were one of our favorite people to do it, I think, back in 2023.
Yep.
When we first saw them as their character on stage again. Trying to maintain privacy just because we don't have permission. So, yep. But they were very cool and nice to talk to. So.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, they had an awesome service dog who was just hanging out.
Yeah.
So, we talked to them for a little bit. That was definitely, I think, one of the highlights of the day.
Yep.
And then Bridget and James got back, and we walked them down to get badges. The line had dissipated by that point.
Yeah, at that point, the line was down to almost nothing, which, again, props to the Reg team. You were doing an absolutely stellar job. I do want to give credit where it is due. Like, you guys rock.
And they do also, I want to mention, still have paper programs, which we love.
Do appreciate a paper program.
Like, we know that they're not always verifiable for accuracy, but it's just nice to have it, especially because on Eventi, it lists all the photo op stuff. Like, a lot of cons do this where they put photo ops just in the main schedule. And it's like, if you were going to have a photo op, you already know when it is because you schedule in advance more often than not.
Yep.
So just put it in a separate schedule for people who are looking for that. Also, Eventi is not a great app.
Eventi's bad.
And, like, I can understand cons that can't afford better than Eventi, like
can.
Techo. GalaxyCon can afford better than Eventi.
Yep.
They can afford to create their own freaking app, which would probably be worse, but, you know.
Probably. But, yeah, so that was very much, again. So Bridget and James got their tickets pretty quickly and easily, because again, there was basically no line. So we chatted with them for a little bit, and then we, they had to go get signed in for the runway contest, which they were going to be doing later today, and we figured we'd go check out a panel.
Yeah.
Because the first panel we really wanted to go to was a Dungeons & Dragons trivia panel.
This was the only panel we bothered even trying today, which I think says something.
Yeah. So, finding it was fun.
Yep. I will say GalaxyCon, it's kind of a love-hate relation. Like, their panels are pretty much just left to their own devices. For the non-celebrity based rooms, you can just, like, walk in and out of them, which I do like. But they also have no one there to help at all.
Yep.
So, it's just random people going into rooms and either setting themselves up or nothing's happening.
Yep. Like, again, if you need a projector, like, I don't know what you do. Because that room didn't have one.
Yep.
But yeah, so according to the schedule, this was in panel room 3,
yes,
which is room C172, I believe.
And GalaxyCon does have these nice display boards outside the rooms that tell you what's going on.
Yep.
Which is, in theory, nice. It lets you know that you're in the right place. Or in this case, generated massive amounts of confusion.
Because the panel outside of panel room C, panel room 3, we later realized was showing the day schedule for panel room 5,
yeah,
I think, or 4.
I think it was 4.
One of them. Because, we went over and we're like, okay, are we in the right place? Oh no, according to this, at the moment it's doing interview with such and such person, whose name I've already forgotten. Okay. Are we not supposed to be here? So we checked Eventi and we thought we were in the right place. And we checked the paper schedule and thought this was the right place. So, okay, well, maybe these two have got switched around. So we went over to the other room, which had the same schedule up as panel room 3. And I was like, okay, no, that's definitely an interview with that guy. It's throwing out right now. Let's go back to the first room and assume that was the right place, but the board was wrong.
Which wound up being correct. I also, when we got into the room, it was about 2 minutes past when it was supposed to start. There was no one in there. A bunch of people were just kind of sitting down awkwardly.
Yep. Yeah, there was an audience. There was no panelists.
Yeah.
I would clarify.
Which might be in part because of the room stuff. I don't really want to blame the panelists for being late, given the room confusion. You kind of do.
I kind of do, because when he eventually turned up, again, he did confirm that he was in the right place, but not in a way that implied to me that he'd been going back and forth.
Yeah. And I will say, we have obviously paneled at a lot of cons, and I don't know if this person is somebody who volunteered to panel, which is a bit more excusable, or if they work for the con.
Again, they did have a GalaxyCon hat on, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
But it did make me a little suspicious, because I'm like, I doubt many people buy GalaxyCon hats. As far as I've not seen anyone not associated with GalaxyCon wearing one.
Yeah.
So they were late, and also did not have their laptop set up. And as people who panel a lot, particularly with PowerPoints, that's one of the first things we do.
Yep.
Is pretty much when we get to a con, we check where our room is, we verify that it's the correct room, and we always make sure to get there at least, sometimes we do have to wait because the other panelist is finishing up, that's fine. But we always try to make sure we get there at least 15 minutes before to, go set stuff up,
yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Again, we make sure we know where we're going, we make sure we're going to be there on time, and here's the other thing. Con Wi-Fi is frequently unreliable. We've been in a few centers where it's really, really good. The Wi-Fi at the Columbus Convention Center is aggressively
Yeah.
Depending on where you are in it, it's either okay or it sucks.
Also, except for SubasaCon, which is amazing, or MFC, Eagle Crest is also amazing.
Yeah.
There's a couple that we know that are amazing.
There are a couple that have really great Wi-Fi. The Greater Columbus Convention Center has aggressively fine Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Which means, panelists, for the love of God, download your stuff beforehand.
And also, this is something I just know as an instructor. For anything involving the internet, you gotta have a backup plan.
Yep.
Even if the backup plan for me today wound up being switching classrooms with Melissa because my classroom needed internet and hers had it and hers didn't need it. So we just moved the kids across the classroom.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
you didn't tell me
hilarious.
that.
We did this morning because my kids were doing presentations and they needed the internet. And for whatever reason, it just wasn't working in that classroom. So we had to move classrooms.
Fair enough. But yeah, so again, it took him a while to get his stuff up because I'm assuming it was probably just on a Google Drive or something like that. And then he eventually, about 15 minutes after it was supposed to started the panel. There was the D&D quiz, and I very quickly stopped caring.
Yep.
Because, okay, there are a few good ways to do trivia panels, and there are some bad ways to do trivia panels. This did what I consider a bunch of the bad trivia panel things. One,
to be clarified, we do try to keep this podcast positive, and this person is not a bad human being.
Oh God, no! I'm sure they're a perfectly lovely person. They just made a bunch of.
But you're
mistakes.
a male, so you can rant and be grouchy, and no one's going to call you on it. So why don't you go ahead?
Sure. So again, okay, one. There are two main ways to do a trivia thing at a con. One of them is to get some volunteers from the audience and do it more as in a game show style. And two is just let people from the audience answer the questions.
And we vastly prefer the first one.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the audience can still answer the questions. Any good trivia you can play along from the audience. But if you have 3-ish people up there, that creates a story.
Yep.
And the story is interesting to watch.
Yes.
Even if you're not picked.
And again, especially if you do, what I had intended to do last week with my trivia panel, which was 3 panelists. If they don't know the answer, then it goes to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
That still gives the audience time to, have their moment and have fun. And the audience beating the panelists is just also kind of funny.
Yep.
Like, it's usually entertaining for the members of the audience. Whereas if you just do it as anybody in the audience can answer the question, I don't know, it's just not fun.
It's less fun, and the pacing, I think, was having a bit of problems generally, so.
Yep. And the other faux pas is the questions were way too goddamn easy. Like, I'm sure he was working up to harder ones, but, like, it's fine to have a few gimmies in your quiz, but especially if it's an all audience members quiz, making it so that 90% of the room knows the answer to the question is kind of a problem. And, like, I freely admit, calibrating quiz difficulty is one of the hardest parts about writing a quiz.
It is. It's hard to know what people are going to know.
But,
and you struggled with it last week, I think.
Yeah. But, like, asking a room full of nerds which, what the, like, most famous ability of the barbarian is, like, I'm willing to bet basically the entire room knew the answer to that question.
This is something for which I'm not much of a rules junkie, and I knew all the questions, and we were at least 20 questions in by the time we wound up just kind of tapping.
Yeah. Like, these questions were aggressively easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I freely admit it didn't help that there was one particular audience member who kept asking questions back in a, like,
the actually nerd sort of way, but the actually nerd sort of way where they're actually doing it, not making fun of themselves doing it, which is not the way you're supposed to do it in modern context.
Yeah, and just, like, asking questions that have already been answered.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they asked, like, which edition of the rules they were talking about, and the answer was, well, I will say in the question which specific rule set. And then they proceeded to, like, ask the question again twice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, getting more and more specific about whether or not there would be, like, questions about other rule set other than D&D 5e.
And this is similar to some types of people who others find a bit annoying. Like, there's not really a lot you can do if you're the host. I get it. Like, you just kind of have to kind of roll with it a lot of the time.
Yep.
Like, it's just one of those kind of unfortunate situations sometimes.
Yeah. I didn't have a lot of patience at that point, I'm not going to lie. Like, I am somebody who generally has a lot of patience.
Well, it was interesting that you were getting more annoyed by it than I was. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that gets me annoyed about it is you do have to be, like, male-coded in order for you to even get away with stuff like that. Like, women don't get to act like that.
No, they don't.
Like, it doesn't matter if they consider themselves or are neurodivergent or not. They don't get to act like that. Neither do gender minorities or racial minorities.
But yeah, so we left at that
Yeah.
point. Like, we were not having fun.
And again, I want to emphasize this person didn't know what they were doing. Neither of these people are bad people. We're not sharing their names. We're just sharing kind of an experience that was frustrating to us personally.
Yeah. But again, like, it didn't feel like there was any heart to the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are plenty of ways to write nerdy questions that are just kind of fun and funny.
I told a bunch of people this weekend that we were a con-positive podcast.
We are a con-positive podcast most of the time. It's just this con is making a lot of mistakes, and it's got enough money behind it that it shouldn't be making them.
Yeah, go watch the Starbase Indie episode. Like, that one, like, got a lot of views.
Yeah.
Really, really good with that one.
Yeah. We talked about how much we enjoyed it. Like,
Yeah.
that was a very positive episode.
And it's not like there can't be positive moments of this con, but it doesn't, like, Colossal Con, like, also makes bank, but it, like, at least has heart behind it.
Yeah. You get the impression that, like, people at Colossal Con care about Colossal Con.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it is still run primarily by volunteers. Like, this is something that I find weird about Colossal Con is the, like, hotel, the water park resort definitely makes money and definitely wants more of them. I'm pretty sure the higher up volunteers don't make money, even though they probably should be at this point. Because they're making break for those hotels. Anyway, this is not that con, though.
This is not that
This
con.
is Galaxy Con, which...
So yeah, so we tapped out of that panel because, again, like, if you told me that ChatGPT wrote his questions, I would believe you.
Okay, but I'm trying to be nice.
I'm not.
Okay.
And again, like, I'm just frustrated, is the honest, like, is the honest answer to that.
I mean, it is hard. It's a hard time of year. People are stressed out with the holidays coming up. You're stressed at work. Most people have seasonal effectiveness disorder, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to be around people who have less energy, generally.
Yeah. So we decided, we'll go to the vendors hall to kill
Mhm.
half an hour. So we wandered around. It's a vendors hall. Again, it is a big vendors hall. Like, if your primary draw to come to this event is to go to a big vendors hall, this is a good con for that. You are going to have options, but again,
It was freaking freezing, though.
it was freezing. Like, they have the AC cranked up in there probably because they're expecting it to get real busy tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So specifically, Hall A is where they've got the wrestlers and their like video gaming space and that kind of stuff, and their cosplay lounge.
Do you have the badges, by the way?
Yeah, right here. Yeah, and the cosplay lounge.
Yep.
And I put cosplay lounge in inverted commas because it's not a lounge.
Yeah, I'm more trying to worry that cosplay lounges are just becoming like a thing of the past because they don't have them really anymore. We saw them at Fan Expo first year and a couple other places, but they used to be like effectively what furry headless lounges were a place where you could like get out of parts of your cosplay and rearrange things with
Yep.
a little bit more space and privacy.
Yep.
This is not what this is. It's a bunch of like backdrops where you can take photos, a cosplay info booth where you can sign up for contest, and a couple set pieces.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, in the past, we have actively got changed in a cosplay lounge, where it's just like, okay, we're heading home now. You do not want to wear a ball gown on the drive home, so we're breaking out the backup dress you brought for the drive home.
Mm-hmm.
And the cosplay lounge is a place where we can go and do that. And there'll be at the very least like a screen you can stand behind while we do that.
Mhm.
This very much does not have even that.
Yeah, I haven't. In fairness, I've not seen like a legitimate cosplay lounge in ages. Like, I do miss them, and I wish more places had them. I get that like there might be some worries because there is technically some amounts of undressing, but like the furries can do it, and
Yep.
if the furries can do it, you can do it too.
Like, we're not asking for much. Like, a single medium-sized room that has like some basic cosplay repair supplies and a back area where you can like get changed if you need to.
Yeah.
That's all we're asking.
It doesn't even need to be like full change, just like a place where you can take on and off wigs would be great.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that in ages, and this is definitely not that.
So yeah, and then Hall B and C are the entirety of Vendors Hall,
Mhm.
and Hall D is their celebrity area, and the four halls of this convention form sort of an L shape, with ABC along the long edge, and then D, connected to C.
And like most celebrity areas, there's a bunch of tape on the ground where you can line up to meet celebrities.
Yep. You had a quick wander through it, and then
I was done.
Yep.
It's hard in a ball gown. It's incredibly crowded. I do not foresee us going into the vendors hall at all tomorrow. We might go on Sunday when it's a little bit less crowded.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But
But
again,
like, what were we gonna say?
again, comparing to last week, last week, the convention we were at, basically everything in there was either made by the people who were selling it or written by the people who were selling it. So there were a fair few people selling like books and things they'd written. Whereas here, like, you've got the usual imported nonsense. Like, there's that sword booth that's at every one of these types of cons. There's people
did have a
selling anime figures.
They did have a fairly big artisanal section, I will say.
They did.
But it is similar artisanal stuff. Although we did see somebody who was at Starbase Indie last weekend.
Yep.
The person who had a live chicken. They did not have the chicken with them, but they were still selling the books about the chicken.
Yes,
so that's
we
cool.
Yeah, we did not see the chicken. It might have been napping behind their booth, but I would not be surprised if they didn't bring it.
Yeah, it would not surprise me if GalaxyCon would not let them bring a chicken.
Yeah, probably.
Even though that would be a very popular thing.
So yeah. So we did that for a bit. Wandered around, and like, I maintain one of the telling things about the vibes of this con is that like very few people stopped you for a photo or to compliment you.
A bunch of people stopped Bridget and James, though, which I was very happy about.
Yes.
Their characters were quite popular and people were recognizing them, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I suspect if we'd been dressed as like Glinda or Alphaba or something, we might have gotten a lot more photos.
Probably. And I did see at least 3 different Glinda and Alphabas this weekend. So
yeah, we
far.
could have done that, but I don't think that's in the cards.
No.
We do have a special cosplay plan for tomorrow.
We have a special plan for tomorrow, and I think we know what we're doing for Sunday as well.
Yes. I don't know why we're keeping it a surprise. No one's going to listen to this before Monday.
This is true, but we can talk about it. So yeah, because you were wearing your Christmas dress today.
Yes.
You know, I came straight from work and did not want to deal with the fact of getting changed, so I'm just wearing normal clothes.
Yes, and tomorrow I feel weird saying it now. You say it.
So tomorrow we're breaking out a surprise cosplay, which is Bridget and James have been commenting for some time that since they do the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, I should cosplay Maximilian Pegasus.
Yep.
So we bought the stuff.
We did.
We haven't told them that we bought the stuff.
I did say we have a surprise tomorrow for them, though, and I wonder if they pegged it.
I think Bridget might have. But again,
she's going to feel so satisfied if she's pegged it, though.
Yes,
so sorry I said a surprise. I was trying to perk people up. So
that's fair.
It'll still be surprising. So
yes, but anyway, so that's for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so at this point we headed upstairs to go to the runway contest.
Yep.
That was on the super stage, which is it's what they use as their main stage for Animate.
Mm-hmm.
So we got there at the tail end of a discussion with Jonathan Frakes, Brent Spiner, and why the hell am I blanking on the actress who plays Crush's name? Oh, I feel like a fake fan now.
I'm so if the
Gates
people.
McFadden.
Good job.
Thank you.
I mean, I felt bad that we didn't go to this, but a lot of their Q&As are just people talking to them, and it's kind of boring. So
yeah, here's the thing. Generally speaking, if you're going to a panel that's a Q&A panel with the celebrities at a con like this, you have a question you want to ask them, or you want to hear the questions that other people in the audience ask them. And yet GalaxyCon and Fan Expo does this as well, for the record. Doesn't goddamn trust anybody in the audience with a microphone, which means that the entire panel is then being interviewed by I think these are the hosts of some podcast or other.
Yeah.
And that is just kind of boring. If I want to hear that, I'll just listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I want to see celebrities in an event like this would be to hear the questions that the audience members would ask them.
Mm-hmm.
But GalaxyCon doesn't trust anybody with that because they might say a rude word. And here's the thing: do people sometimes say awkward things at cons? Yes, of course they do. Are most celebrities pretty good at dealing with it? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, at this point, they have heard everything and know backtrack ways to get out of it. So,
again, the archetypal example we've seen of how to do this well was Adam Savage at Fan Expo.
Yep.
Again, somebody at one point asked him for his top 10 something or other from Mythbusters, and again, he did not have time to do a full top 10 list, so he basically said, I'm going to give you the top 3.
Yep.
Perfectly acceptable way to handle that situation. Got through that person's question, still answered the question.
And he was the only one at Fan Expo who fielded his own questions. I think because he bullied the staff of Fan Expo into letting him do that.
Yep.
So go him.
As opposed to James and Oliver Phelps, who are very clearly trying their best to deal with a moderator who was... That panel was not good, and that was not
that was not their fault. That was not the audience's fault either, given the audience had nothing to do with it. So
yeah,
because they pre-selected a bunch of extremely boring questions.
Yep.
And then asked them about a bunch of Harry Potter stuff that they didn't know because they're actors.
Yeah. So
they're not trying to promote Harry Potter. They were trying to promote their new show.
Yeah. So we kind of caught the end of this particular panel with various Star Trek performers, and again, here's the thing: I've seen this, these particular people before. They have very good stage presence. They are very comfortable with each other. You can tell they've been friends forever. They have that easy chemistry, and it is interesting listening to them. I would have, but it would have been much better if they'd let the audience ask them some questions.
Yeah.
But it just fundamentally feels like GalaxyCon doesn't trust its audience.
Then everyone had to come up for the stage selfie.
Yeah. God, I hate that bloody stage selfie.
I hate the stage. Well, it's also Generally, they do have panels like back to back with like maybe a 5-minute break. The stage selfie makes it even harder to clear people out of the goddamn room.
Yeah.
Like, just don't do a stage selfie. You can't even see anyone in the photo anyway.
Again, it's for their marketing. So yeah, so we kind of sat towards the back for that one, knowing that we wanted to get a good seat for the runway contest. So as everybody was like, going up for the stage selfie, I kind of nipped forward and snagged a couple of decent seats at the front. Specifically, like not in that central section, but in the one off to the right, but on the end. So we would have had a good view from of the stage from there. So we got settled, we were ready to watch, and then they brought out the goddamn judges table and put it right in front of us.
Yep. They didn't apologize for it either.
Nope. Which meant we had to move.
Yeah. And we thought they were going to do it center because that's what they previously had it, but they decided to put it off to one side, which is, I will say, probably a better place for it in terms of an audience perspective, but also was kind of rude because we were sitting there and no one bothered to tell us, so we moved to the other side of the stage.
Yeah. Which meant we did not have as good a view over there, which...
Again, it wasn't that bad. I saw everything fine.
It was, but again, it was just... It felt like yet another indication of how nobody at this con gives a toss if you're actually having fun.
You are in a bad mood.
I am in a bad mood tonight.
I don't know why. Today was yes, a below average con day for me, but you seem actively mad.
I kind of am.
I don't know
genuinely
why.
think this con has pissed me off. And I think part of it is just, we've paid a lot of money for this con. It should be better than a goddamn C- con. We don't give letter grades. If we did, this is a barely passing con. This is a 2-star C- convention at this point. So anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe, is it just because you paid for this one? I normally pay for it?
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know.
For the record, we have the same finances. It's just different cards, like most people.
Yeah. Again, it's our money.
Yeah.
But, again, I don't know if it's that or if it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's just this con is making so many mistakes it shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I am wondering if it's just the whiplash from last week to this week. Because last week was a small, intimate con where everybody clearly loves it to pieces.
Yeah.
Whereas this week is a massive, giant thing where nobody actually seems to be having a good time.
And the weather was bad both weeks, so it's not just that.
It's not just that. But yeah. So again, runway contest was fine. They had the mics cranked up a bit loud. But,
it was a bit... The host was doing their best to give everyone their moment. I always do appreciate when hosts do that. They clearly had worked with a couple contestants to have their bits work and stuff like that, because they clearly had stuff that was pre-planned out with a few contestants, and he was able to remember which contestants those were.
Yeah, he is good at his job, for the record. Right down to he's not the tallest of gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the cosplayers was probably my height or taller. Taller, probably.
You're offended by it.
A little bit. It's fine. Again, for the record, if anybody's not met me in person, I am 6'6".
He's 6'5".
I am 6'6" when I stand up straight. Shut up.
I love you.
I love you too. Door frames can be an issue for me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I need to see a physiotherapist to stop my back bending the way it does. But anyway, but yeah, so and they had a bit where he was kind of staring up at him because he was also in an intimidating costume. Mm-hmm. And again, the people doing the runway contest were clearly doing a good job. There were a couple of adorable kids. There was more groups than usual.
Yeah, a lot of groups.
Which, hey, if you can manage to wrangle 4 people into matching cosplays or cosplays based on the same thing, go you.
In the runway,
that makes work.
The runway contest they make pretty clear is just based on vibes. We've done it in years past. It's based on vibes. They pick randomly for the most part.
It's based on vibes and who they think is going to look best in the promotional photo at the end.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yep. Which isn't, again, bad. It was cute. And, as long as you go into it knowing that it's just based on vibes, I think it's fine. That's not to say the people who won didn't deserve to win. And also the person who won Best in Show was crying, and it was adorable. So.
It was very sweet. And I did adore Steampunk Eggman. He was great. Yeah, and I always love when you do like steampunk takes on an existing character. That's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So after that, we met up with Bridget and James because again they were in that. They were doing a couple of characters from Ruby.
Yep.
And then yeah, we went and got food with them and just kind of talked for a bit. Yeah, we contemplated like going to a later night thing, and we just don't have the energy.
Yeah.
We're gonna like try and get a decent night's sleep, come back revitalized tomorrow, and maybe stay for some late night stuff. We'll
It's
see
a lot
how
of
that
caffeine.
goes.
We do have to pick up my medication first thing in the morning because the pharmacy will not let me pick it up a day in advance anymore. Like I'm just supposed to apparently be in this exact spot on this exact day every 30 days when I need the medication, regardless of whatever else I'm doing.
Yep. Like again, if we were away this weekend, you would what the hell are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Again, you used to be able to pick it up at least 2 days in advance of when it was due to run out.
Anyway, I should probably sign off. We've got like 6 event calendars to open when we get home.
We do indeed have 6 advent calendars to open when you get home. Actually, have you finished the current book?
No, I don't know if I'm going to finish it, but I think I can catch up on the book advent calendar when
you're off work.
Yeah. For the record, like if you're wondering about book event calendars or like other event calendars, I've just discovered you can just buy a bunch of stuff off eBay and make your own event calendar. So I've just been doing that.
Or get your husband to like write 25 like sweet moments from your relationship and like put them into an advent calendar, so you get a nice moment read to you every day.
Yep, that's very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
You get major husband points.
Yay, husband points.
Husband points. So we'll check back with you tomorrow. Hopefully Richard is less angry, I guess. It's weird for you to be angry generally.
Yeah, I genuinely do not know what it is about this convention that's pissing me off.
Like, you threatened to complain to them about the table being moved, and I was just like, that seems like an overreaction.
Oh, yeah, like, when they were doing that, like, stage, that sweep shot of everybody in the audience, it's a good job they didn't bring that camera all the way over to us, because I genuinely wanted to just, give them the finger.
You've never liked Animated in Galaxy as much as I have, to be fair, but even so.
Again, for whatever reason, maybe I'm just in a bad mood today. Maybe I just need a decent night's sleep or something. I don't know.
Could it be your period?
Could be.
Okay. I feel like it's important to ask that for gender equality reasons.
Mm-hmm. This is fair. Like, I don't think it is. Like, I haven't noticed any bleeding in that area, but I'll check.
I can't even tell that joke's okay. It's probably fine. Please write in if you were offended by that.
Yep.
And by that I mean don't.
Yep.
See you tomorrow.
Yep.
Bye.
See you tomorrow. Bye. And we are back.
Things did not improve.
Yeah. Well,
I'm really trying not to make this a rant. Like, we did do some fun stuff today.
We
I
did.
do have a feeling we're going to be struggling for top 5 or top technically 6 con moments tomorrow.
Yeah.
That aren't just hanging out with Bridget and James and their friend who does not want us to mention their name, and we respect that.
Yes. Like, So, yeah. Again, like, if anything, it's like... So a bunch of stuff was kind of worse today just because of the sheer goddamn number of people at this con.
It's insanely crowded.
Yeah.
Which we knew it was going to be, but even so, it's just...
So, the one thing I do really want to bitch about on that front is line management.
Mm-hmm.
So, here's the thing. Yesterday, you could get away with having your admittance line run the entire length of the goddamn Columbus Convention Center. You couldn't today. Because for one thing, it lasted a lot longer.
It was there for like solid 4 hours during the first peak opening hours while people got their badges.
Yep. Now, again, it was still moving at a good clip, so people were probably only waiting like 30 minutes or so. But even so, it meant it was blocking the hallways constantly.
Yeah, keep in mind that because of how it works, on one side is the vendors hall and the other side is all the panel rooms. So for us and other people who like panels, including some of the celebrity panels, you effectively had to like weave out of the line one direction, then weave back through it another one.
Yep.
While there's still a bunch of people and I'm in a ball gown.
Yep.
And there's also a perfectly good hallway going like perpendicular to that one.
Yeah.
That you could line people up that had nothing down it.
Yeah, like Origins uses that car because Origins is the same space. It puts its registration desk in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
They send them off down the corridor next to the D hall, and it works better because there's less stuff down there.
Yeah.
Like, with the number of people in that line, you would probably have had to do some switchbacks and probably like some actual line maintenance, which you weren't goddamn like. There was a couple of people walking up and down yelling, "Get over near the wall!" That was the extent of your line management.
Yep.
Great job, guys.
Definitely a fire hazard.
Yeah.
Additionally, like I'm pretty sure we both witnessed, like in addition to the main, like the Columbus Convention Center has countless upon countless entrances and exits. It's a big building, and there's a lot of different buildings that connect to it.
Yep.
Which is good. I'm pretty convinced that they were ad hoc putting up more metal detectors at various like choke points throughout the day.
Yep.
Because every time we seemed to look, there was a new one in a place that I could have sworn there was not one before.
Yeah. Because they realized people could get in that way.
For all the good that that does.
Yeah. Like, the security theater is so pointless. Like, again, we got in, we walked through, it pinged us both because we both had bits of metal on us. Like, I'm wearing a wristwatch with a metal strap. Perfectly normal thing to have.
Yeah, they didn't even bother with my hoop skirt today. I think they've seen enough of them between that time period. And the bag check they gave us was just like, look
Open
in your bag.
look
like
in bag, you're fine.
They could have easily hidden something at the bottom of the bag.
I could have hidden a bazooka in the bottom of that bag and they wouldn't have noticed.
For the record, please do not do more throw bag checks. Just stop with this nonsense. It doesn't mean anything.
It's so pointless. All it does is piss us off.
Also, keep in mind, in some of the like smaller choke points, which are just literally random hallways to get back to hotels that connect, you have to go through them to both get in and out to get back to your hotel.
Yep. Because again, like, the choke points were never designed with goddamn metal detectors in mind.
And no other con does this, nor should they have to. So yeah, it was bonkers crowded for pretty much all of the day.
Yep.
I'll be interested to see how much it dissipates tomorrow, because Sunday does tend to be the least crowded day.
Yeah, we did not even attempt to get in the vendors hall today, like,
Nope.
at all. It was not worth even trying for
And yeah,
us.
for parking, we couldn't even get into the lot that was next to the building, so
Yep.
we parked at the
Just kind of around the corner,
yeah,
near the Nationwide building.
yeah, which was surprisingly cheap.
Yeah, it was only $5.
Honestly, we maybe should park there again tomorrow.
Like, the signage made me think I was going to be paying $20,
Uh-huh.
and then when I went out, it was just like, your payment is $5. I'm like, okay, cool. Wasn't expecting that. So yeah, that was surprisingly easy. But yeah, so at this point, are we just going straight into chronological? Because do we have anything more we want to complain about before
We're
we get
probably
on
going to
that?
complain a lot during this episode, and I really pitched this our podcast as being con positive. Like,
We are con positive.
Yeah. That said, again, if we talked to you today and you're an individual presenter and we said we were going to say good things about you, I guarantee you we're going to keep that promise.
Oh yeah, here's the thing. We went to some very good panels today,
Mhm.
but we also went to a bunch of crap ones.
Yep.
And we will shout out the ones that we thought were really good, and we will just kind of complain slightly about the crap ones.
Yep. So, what did we start with? Kermit?
God, I don't
You're
even
just
know.
glossing over the fact that I called you Kermit.
I've just lost track. It's fine.
We started with the wrestling promo panel.
Oh yeah.
So we got in, we actually saw Bridget and their friend, who is also our friend, but doesn't want their name to be said, valid, in line getting them a ticket.
Yep. And again, like, that was moving reasonably quickly, and this was where we got to give them, where we got to show them the surprise, which is what I was dressed as today. Which is, again, they were doing their Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, so I now have a Maximilian Pegasus outfit.
Okay. I'm Cecilia Pegasus, who no one remembers and is like doesn't even have words. She's just there to prove that Pegasus is in the game.
Yeah, she's dead.
She's dead.
Of non-specific death.
I might get a
syndrome.
portrait to put around her just for the fun.
Yep.
But she's not a very maidenly character. But I honestly don't mind that. She's in a ball gown and she works with your costume. So.
Yes. Yeah, it lets me like hug you protectively in photos and that kind of stuff. Protectively, possessively. Like, once again, you have cast me as an unsuitable man.
I mean, there aren't a lot of suitable men to be in general, so.
Yeah.
And we
this
did
is
work
true.
out potentially a new cosplay we want to try at this con because I think we're bored
Yeah.
and workshopping other things.
Yeah, we came up with an idea for our, if we get into it, to do the Colossal Con Prime costume contest, in-character cosplay contest. We have an idea now.
Yep.
We've been struggling to come up with something, and you've just had a really good one.
Yep.
So we know what we're going to enter for that. Whether we get into that or not will depend on, it's a bit of a lottery on that one.
Particularly for Prime, it's very popular.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to, they never announce when they're like doing sign-ups, so I'll probably just do what Bridget does and just stalk the page.
Yep.
See if we get in.
So yeah, but anyway, that's for like next summer to worry about.
Yeah.
So what the heck was my brain doing that? Anyway.
Then we went to the wrestling panel.
Yes, so we basically went straight to the How to Cut a Wrestling promo panel. We've seen this panel a few times before. It's usually fun.
Yeah. The wrestlers are normally a bit disorganized, but it's just kind of part of their charm.
Yeah.
We know to expect it at this point. And all of them are charismatic enough and know how to work a crowd well enough that it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
because again, they're professional
make
wrestlers.
sure to get the acronym
Part
right.
of the job. Fantasy cosplay super wrestling?
I think that's right. Just let me double check.
Or fantasy super cosplay wrestling.
Yeah, the technical acronym is FSCW.
Yes.
FSCW. So yeah, we know them vaguely, like they recognize us, and we kind of sort of recognize them at this point. So, and we like them. So,
yeah.
I will say, I don't remember if we mentioned it yesterday, but they didn't move the wrestling times now, so they're midday as opposed to in the evening.
Yeah, they're like 3 o'clock-ish, which is...
I don't want to go into the vendor's hall at 3 o'clock, because the wrestling is in the game hall that's connected to the vendor's hall.
Yep.
And like, it itself generally doesn't tend to be crowded, but it's connected to a building that is, and there's no easy way to access it, and I don't think it's going to be feasible for us to attend any of their shows this year.
Nope. Which is a pity, because their shows are usually good.
They are. Like, the triple we had to rescue as a result of one of their shows.
Yep.
And yeah, the person who threw me that triple was on the panel today.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, if we'd had a moment, I might have been tempted to like go up and tell him the story.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it would have amused him. But we didn't really have the opportunity to.
Yeah. So we've seen a lot of iterations of this. Sometimes it's just cutting wrestling promo panels. This was more asking questions about like how to cut panels and then giving tips. And they did give the audience the opportunity. No one really wanted to, including us. I think I was commenting a little bit about this. I do think it would help if they just cut promos in the room for like a minute just to give people a little bit more comfort. Instead of just giving advice, giving examples would actually be really helpful to get people a little bit more comfortable trying it themselves.
Yeah, I would concur with you on that one.
I will also say, just as audience members, it is kind of difficult, particularly if you're not in cosplay, to just cut a wrestling promo, because generally you do have a plot or like an idea of what your character is supposed to be or do, and it's kind of hard to just take a random person and have them build a character in a scenario right then or there.
Yeah.
So maybe giving them like something to grasp onto would also help. Just like, okay, you're a heel, and the theme is like Steel City or something like that. Just giving them a little bit of tools to kind of build their argument.
Yeah, give them something to work with rather than just like, And again, what I would say is we're going to give you some examples. If you like none of them and have your own idea, you can do that instead.
Yeah. Or I think it would be cool for them to like do a tag team with somebody where you're going up with them. So like if anyone's a little bit nervous and doesn't know what to say, they can like step in and help.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Again, like this was perfectly fine.
Yep.
I don't think it was the best version of this panel we've seen, but they've definitely had better audience participation at previous versions of it. Like we've done it before. We've been at like versions of this panel where the audience was super excited to be part of it.
Yeah.
My
criticism of them has always been, please just, because this is the thing, I go to a lot of their events, but I'm not otherwise involved in wrestling. I have never seen an actual wrestling promo, ever.
Yeah, neither have I.
Like,
You've won a competition.
Without ever seeing one, somehow.
Yep.
But, like, and they were commenting they wish they had videos to show and stuff like that. Just bring videos, have people do them, just anything to give people a bit more idea of how they work. Because keep in mind, a lot of people who engage with wrestling, some super fans I'm sure do watch promos, but a lot of people engage with wrestling just by walking along and seeing it before.
Yep. Just, it's going on at this con and I have an hour time slot. Let's go watch the show.
Yeah. They're charismatic and like they're always a hoot, so it's not.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't a bad panel.
No, not even slightly. And again, like they also know how to play off each other very well.
And also, we're probably just going to order Taco Bell and not cut this podcast because GalaxyCon doesn't deserve it.
Yep. It does not deserve me actually going to the effort to push the pause button. So you get to once again hear our Taco Bell order.
To be clarified, you as our fans / friends do deserve it. But, yes. I'm going to turn the car light on. It's not illegal. What?
Yes, vampire noises. Light.
Well, I need to read the schedule.
That's fair.
Again,
I'm pretty sure we did the sketch deal next.
We attempted to, yes, but let me verify that. Weird, I forgot they were here. The Doctor Who people. Jodie Whittaker and Billy Piper. That would have been a popular one. We'll talk about that in the We Didn't Do segment tomorrow. There'll be a lot of that.
Yep.
And yes, you are right. It's the sketch duel. We're not going to say who was there.
Yeah. So we like sketch duels. Sketch duels are a lot of fun. For anybody who's never been to one, the basic premise of a sketch duel is you get 2 to 3 artists, usually comic book artists or something similar, who are here as like art guests, and you put them on a panel together. They get given a very silly suggestion from the audience, and then they draw that very silly suggestion while like answering like questions from the audience about like their work and their career and their life and like their inspiration and like all of that kind of interview stuff you normally would ask an artist. So we like these quite a lot. We, the first year we were at Fan Expo, we actually won some art from one of them. So as a result, we have a like adorable picture of like baby Cthulhu in the bath.
Yeah, we still need to frame that.
We do. But like it's fun, it's silly, it's lighthearted. These people did not understand that.
Yeah. Well, I think they said they'd done a lot of them, and I believe that. But they've apparently, and this seems to have been a turn that sketch duels have taken more recently, where the people in them clearly only want to draw things that they normally draw. Because in the past year, I've gone to a couple sketch duels, and I've made some suggestions, and people have just been confused that I was suggesting stuff of like a Scooby-Doo on a skateboard, or a puppy that has tentacles and is licking a lollipop.
Yeah.
Because those are things I want pictures of, silly fun stuff, but every single time it's just like Harley Quinn, Spider-Man. It's just boring.
Yep. Like these guys actively like, I'm not going to say forced the audience, but like
bullied seems a bit strong, but heavily hinted.
Yeah, that they basically they almost admitted they didn't want to draw anything weird, and just like they flat said that why would you ask them to draw something weird when you can get them to draw something that they do professionally? Then when you win it, you can sell it. I don't want to goddamn sell something I get at a
at a
sketch
thing
duel.
is, like, if you're drawing like Bart Simpson or Spider-Man or something like that, those characters have already been created.
Yeah.
Like, I know artists do bring some of their own takes to it, and I'm not trying to knock that, but like most Spider-Men look pretty similar.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need your specific take on Spider-Man.
Yeah. And again, like, I don't. Here's the thing: sketch duels always give away the art for at the end
for free,
usually in some kind of raffle system.
Yeah.
I don't know how this one was doing it because like. Certainly at Fan Expo, when they're doing sketch duels, they always just like give you a raffle ticket to the door.
Like some places do it, or I imagine they'll probably would do something like it at the end or something like that. Because I do think it makes more sense to give out the tickets at the end for people who are still there, so that you're not calling out ticket numbers for people who've had to leave for whatever reason. So, but we decided that we just didn't want to. Like, I just didn't want to watch somebody draw Spider-Man. That's boring. So I just was like, I'm not going to do this because I want to watch them draw like Cthulhu in a bathtub. That's way better.
Yep, baby Cthulhu in the bathtub. It's great.
Yeah. So we pivoted to pointless nostalgia, 80s icons. I will say the panelist of this, which we don't typically do just because they promote themselves a lot, just Guy Hutchinson.
Yep. He's great.
Yeah,
like,
he is.
Here's the thing. Some of the GalaxyCon regulars I don't rate terribly highly. Mm-hmm. Guy Hutchinson is one of their regulars that I actually think is very good at what he does.
He is.
Like, he is very, like, 80s nostalgia coded, but last year, maybe an anime, like, he did a panel on, defunct theme parks, and, like, that was a really fun, interesting panel. And this panel was, like, mostly just him kind of talking about stuff from the 80s with, like, not a massive amount of, like, logic or, like, it was just kind of his stuff he remembers.
Yeah, and this was stuff that I think, like, it was interesting because this time it was stuff most people knew, whereas in, like, well, us, neither of whom was alive during the 80s, we knew, I think, at least about half of what he said, But he did a good job of, like, connecting things people knew to things people didn't know and, like, reminding us some other stuff. And, like, in general, he's a great panelist. Like, I will admit, as somebody who teaches a lot, lecture-style panels do tend to bore me a little bit. His lecture-style panels don't. He's a very engaging speaker. He's good at generating conversation for the room. He's good at giving everyone in the room a chance to talk who wants to say something.
Yep.
And it's great.
Yeah, like if you want to pitch in a weird comment from the audience, he's quite happy to like take that. But also, like, he's pretty good at if somebody's kind of waffling on too long, he's good at drawing it back to him and getting on with the purpose of the panel. It's like he is good at what he does.
Yeah, and this was a good panel. Like, I enjoyed it. It was fun. It's the classic type of panel I would love at a con. But comfortable. We sat right in the front row.
Yep.
Didn't regret that decision. The only thing, and this became a problem because we were in panel room 3 quite a lot, and at least at this point the projector was kind of sort of working.
Yeah, it's not that it wasn't working. It's just, okay, GalaxyCon. You have Christ knows how much money. Buy some goddamn projector screen.
If you can buy a bunch of backdrops that say GalaxyCon, you can buy a freaking projector screen.
Yeah.
And an actual table for it that's at the right angle, so you don't have to put it awkwardly on a wall above a door.
Yeah, like, just having a projector pointed at a wall is bad. It's just bad design.
It's bad design, and it seems like you're not respecting any of your panelists who are working. And those panelists are volunteers or people who work for you, and you're not respecting them the same way you are the celebrities, and that's not okay.
It is really not.
Especially with what I'm paying for tickets, it's not.
Yeah. Again,
at this point, at least the table was angled such that the projector screen wasn't tilted.
Yeah.
Later it got tilted.
Yeah, because it got moved somewhere along the way. Because again, it was just it was what almost looked like a stand that you would put a
and the projector is definitely too heavy for it.
Yes, like it was actively tilting and leaning.
Those things are expensive.
Yeah.
If you want to break it, fine, but I'm worried you're going to make some poor person who's just trying to move the screen pay for it, because you're also not giving anyone any setup help whatsoever.
Yeah, there was no technical support at any point for any of the panels.
And you compare this to another con like Colossal, which we paneled at, Colossal, at the cons I was at, there was a person in the room to run tech for me.
Yep.
There was a person in the back of the room to make sure our microphones were working correctly.
Yeah, they came in, they were like, okay, yep. Again, when we did your panel at Colossal Con East.
Yep.
East. The AV guy came up and was like, okay, you got any AV stuff to do? And I said, we've got a PowerPoint, cool, laptop, Mac, laptop, Windows laptop, standard HDMI cable will do nicely. He said, here you go. He had everything we needed ready. You should be at least that good. I do not know. It is very, very obvious you don't care about the paneling at your conventions. I know that. But you could at least pretend. You could pretend to give a toss.
Yeah.
Outside of probably the main stage, the super stage, you do not have AV people actually working.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't. And you could. You have the budget to hire enough people. Here's the thing. Because of the way the panels are, staggered, it would be very easy to just have one tech person whose job is to, run between the rooms, make sure people are set up and have everything they need. That's all it needs. So, yeah. Oi.
Boo.
So, yeah.
Not at the panel, though. The panel was great. I had fun.
Panel was good.
Probably one of the best panels we saw, both of which were by Guy Hutchinson, so thanks for that.
No,
and one also by an MD whose name I'm not going to say because we didn't get permission.
Yeah. Again, we'll talk about that when we get there. So, what was next?
We briefly went to the Stargate panel.
Yes. So...
And I will warn you, we did a lot of running around this afternoon for no reason.
Yeah. So, again, I was interested in the Stargate retrospective panel because I like Stargate. You've never seen Stargate, and I don't think you care to.
No, but I do enjoy people talking with what they're passionate about. And this wasn't a bad panel. It just wasn't one we were vibing with, I don't think.
Yeah. Again, it was mostly just a case of, with the best one in the world, it was a retrospective about stuff I already knew. And it was a panel you didn't care about at all and was never going to be a thing that made you interested in seeing Stargate. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, basically, and it just wasn't quite what we were looking for, generally.
So yeah, again, not a bad panel, I'm sure. It's just not what we needed at that particular moment, and that happens. I do not want to call out this person and say they were a bad panelist or anything like that. They were not.
Mm-hmm.
They'd put together a good presentation. They were inviting audience participation in the form of when they were talking about each character, they'd put up what their favorite episode for that particular character is, and then they were asking the audience what their favorite episodes for a given character were.
Are we going to do the responsible thing and pause the
recording? Yes, I am going to.
Thank you, because we owe it to our fans, even if we don't owe it to GalaxyCon.
Yes, GalaxyCon does not deserve to have the recording paused while we go through the Taco Bell drive-thru, but our fans do. So we're going to pause, and we'll be back momentarily. And we have Taco Bell.
We do. We have technically Mexican food.
Kind of.
Not really.
Not really.
Technically, he's doing most of the work there.
Yeah. I mean, it's closer to Mexican food than what I used to eat in the UK and called Mexican food.
Your parents still pronounce it jalapeno.
Again, they saw the word written down
Yes, but the internet's a thing now.
Yeah, they know how it's correctly pronounced now. They're just, too set in their ways to change.
You're not supposed to turn that dirt.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I know it doesn't matter, but
Yeah, no, we'll use a proper turning spot.
Let me find where we were in the schedule. Like this, we've tried to avoid the drive-through, so we would avoid this like mid-talk.
Again, we were at the Stargate panel. We decided it wasn't quite what we needed at that moment, so we pivoted.
So then we went into the social club to try to experience Goblin Madness Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yes.
This was a part of it where we were just kind of running around trying to desperately. It was peak con hours. It was miserable in the hallways. We were just trying to find like literally anywhere that was like acceptable to sit down.
Yep.
And that was a struggle.
That was hard.
So part of it is the social club is like
Sucks.
arranged. Well, yeah, it's arranged with like round tables. It is bigger than I think it used to be because the one at Anime was like 5 tables total. This one had like at least 25-ish tables.
It did not have 25 tables. Like I would
had a few, but like it was one of
7
those
or 8
things.
maybe.
For whatever reason, this event was popular, and like I do not like sharing tables with people. It's just like a thing for me. So I went upstairs to find a bathroom, which is how I found they put metal detectors up there.
Yep.
And which by the way also turned out to be a bit yakety sax because at least one of the restrooms, handicapped restroom, is currently inaccessible, which is
not great.
Yeah, not great.
So yeah.
And by inaccessible, I don't mean like there was a temporary problem. I mean like it was not working.
Yeah.
And yeah, that wasn't great. I found one that was working, so that was cool.
Yep.
You sat down. I think you tried to fend people away from our
table.
Yeah,
I fended people away.
But then it was apparent.
It got so bad that we didn't have a choice but to let other people sit down at it.
We would have just been the only table that only had 2 people at it, and that would have been like something we could reasonably do or ask people. So we allowed people to share.
We let a few people share.
People did ask.
They did. Like I will say this, people were polite about it.
Yeah.
But no, the social club should they keep using it as a panel room, and it shouldn't be. Like, if you're going to call something the social club...
And put round tables in there, it should be something where you're interacting with your table mates or something like that, or game tournaments or something.
Yeah, like, there are plenty of things you can do with that space. Putting a stage in there and doing panels is just a weird and fundamentally bad, dumb choice. Like, yeah. So... And this was the same guy who was running the D&D trivia last night. And look, I'm sure you're a nice guy. I don't like your stuff. I just don't.
Well, this is interesting because we did see this exact same panel. I don't remember what con it was at. Where it was a lot better run than it was here.
Yep. And I think it was done by the same guy.
Yeah. It's just in the previous version of it, you got to like have people shout out answers and stuff like that.
Yep.
Or like, for instance, in the last time we saw it, it was like, what do you want to name your goblin troop? People could shout out their names, and then we could vote on them. And the heroes would pick a couple. Here, they just gave you 2 choices.
Both of which were kind of boring.
Yeah. And then every single other thing is just another branching tree line choice.
Yeah.
And they sometimes bring kids on stage to roll dice, but other than that, it's like you're basically playing a click-through adventure, which is boring.
Yep. And again, like, the host himself is perfectly fine.
Yeah, the room has good energy, but look, it's just one of those things where, like, this is not fun for me. I don't understand why other people like it, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, this is like, we both kind of came out of that going, why does anybody like that? Like,
you don't actually get any choice in role-playing, and it's not very interactive, because you're effectively just choosing between 2 things.
Yeah. And just whatever the crowd says, is what you're doing next, and
it's just voting, and and you can't like go off the rails or do anything new. So
yeah. So yeah, we left that again after not terribly long. Like, we were just not vibing.
We are grumpy, and we do know that. Like, so then we pivoted to basically sit in the back of the Critical Role Q&A panel, neither of which we've seen.
Yep.
Like, I have seen some interviews with some of the Critical Role people. The people who were at this con were Travis Willingham, Sam Riegel, Liam O'Brien, and Laura Bailey.
Yep. All of these people are excellent voice actors.
They're
I've seen plenty of stuff they've done that they're in that
and
they
I've
are
seen some
fabulous
interviews that they've done. I think the thing is, I know that they're charismatic enough, particularly when they're with each other, that it would be entertaining regardless of like anything else.
Yeah, I freely admit the main reason I've never watched Critical Role is by the time I found out it was a thing, they were like so far deep that I was like, I have so much of this to catch up on to get it. Like, I don't know if I can make myself do that. Like, I
It's
tried.
just like playing D&D is more fun than watching D&D, and like
Yeah.
I do like the Critical Role's gotten a lot of people into D&D.
Yeah.
It's similar to like I think the comments some people were having about like our friends about Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, where
Yep.
like part of the problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is it somewhat superseded Yu-Gi-Oh! And pop culture iconography.
Yeah.
And Critical Role's kind of the same thing, where it's made one way of playing D&D the dominant way of playing D&D.
Yes.
And that way of playing D&D is not bad. It's good, but there's other ways of playing it. And
Yes.
I would like those ways to be a bit more represented. And that's not anything against them. It's a very good show. I'm sure people like it a lot. It's just, it's one way of playing D&D, and I don't necessarily like it. Like, for me, I really freaking hate, and Matt Mercer does this, not against him. I'm just like, I hate it when they ask you, how are you killing somebody? It just skeeves me out. I don't like it. Like, you don't have to answer that. It doesn't help with my immersion. It just grosses me out. Like, and that's a dumb pet peeve, but it's part of a broader like cultural thing that I've had. It's been an issue with Critical Role, which isn't to say that it's a bad show or fans are bad of it. It's just its cultural dominance is kind of circled back around to making it cause some problems.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense or is fair.
No, I do know exactly what you mean by that. Like, again, I've not seen enough of it to like actually form that strong an opinion. And again, like, I've done actual plays on the internet. If you want, you can find the old Cerberus Gamers actual play of Rogue Trader, which I was the GM for. The audio and visual quality suck, but it's on the internet. And again, like, I know how hard it is to actually do that kind of stuff, and I do respect them for doing as good a job as they do. It's just, it's not something I have the time to start from the beginning on. And everybody will say, "Oh, well, you should just go to campaign 2," and I'm like, no. This to me is like something like Star Trek. If I'm going to watch it, I'm going to watch all of it, because I can't not do that, and I don't want to. I just don't.
It's just more fun to play D&D than it is to watch people play D&D. The Q&A was cute.
Yep.
I will say, weirdly, they only had the front door open.
Yes, it was a bit of a weird choice. So for their main events, they're using ballrooms A, B, and C.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, they had the A doors open, even though they were the ones closest to the stage. Whereas they should have had the C ones open so that you could go in the back and not like have to walk past a crowd load of people. Because like, this was a popular panel.
It was. Most of the room did seem to or appear to be full.
Yeah.
The back area where we weren't wasn't, but it was like the back far right corner, so the furthest away from the doors.
Yep.
But even that area like got a few people in it. But it was cool because we could like dig around on our phones and occasionally look up, which is what we intended because we were in the back, so we weren't bothering anyone.
Yeah. Also, they were actually like, they didn't have a moderator. They were just taking questions from the audience. Great.
Yep. The audience was asking cool questions. One person gave them a bunch of ducks. That was fun.
That was great.
And they just kind of, and it was nice because I didn't like hear the GalaxyCon upsell, which I'm now referring to it every single time there is a moderator or host on stage. You're just like, go spend money in the vendors hall. Let's take the stage selfie. Like, I think Travis was like, yeah, I guess we got to do that like selfie thing now.
Yeah. Like, I think it's probably in their contract.
I'm sure it is. But yeah. I just kind of hope the audience collectively stops doing the stage selfies so they can stop marketing it.
This is the thing, like, a lot of people enjoy being part of it because of that parasocial relationship thing, whereas you and I just look at it and go, Christ, that's awful. And again, I don't know if we're just, like, getting cynical in our, in our going to conics in our experience at this point.
Well, it's just hard, and I think it's in part because we're watching that Defunct Land video. Defunct Land, if you're not familiar, is a Disney kind of history channel.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other stuff, too, about old attractions and rides, and it's just, the hard thing about corporate cons, I think, generally, is just that every decision they make is targeted towards profit rather than experience.
Yes.
Like, no one does anything just because it's going to be a cool fan experience if it's not going to generate them a profit.
Yeah.
And that's the opposite of how most other cons work.
Yeah.
Like, most other cons are non-profit, but even the ones that are, I think, maybe for-profit a little bit are, or maybe one or two people are taking a salary, like, just do stuff because it's fun.
Yeah.
Not because it's going to, like, affect their bottom line in any way.
Yeah. Whereas GalaxyCon is very, like, it's very, very obvious that, like, almost every decision is based on one of two things. It's either, how can we make money off this, or how can we use this in our marketing to make more money down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to bet money that at some point when that giant reg line was there was probably one of their people running down it with a camera to get like shots of people excitedly waiting in line for GalaxyCon.
Yep.
Because they can use that in their marketing promo material. And again, it's another one of those situations where if I was in that line and I saw somebody doing that, they would not be able to use that footage. Because I would make sure they couldn't. Because that just annoys me.
Yeah.
And again, I appreciate that when you buy the badge, you consent to them filming you and taking your picture and all of that stuff.
Which I want to point out is different from consenting to having random influencers filming you and then uploading your content to YouTube without your consent.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Like, one of those things I don't have a choice about agreeing to.
But neither of those things happen here. And I don't want to ruin Critical Role. They're like, all of these people are extremely charismatic and personable.
Again, there is a reason why Critical Role is popular. It's just not our particular thing.
Yeah. But it was fun. Like, there's some cute moments. I laughed a little bit. They were carrying the crowd well, and I respect the heck out of them for just doing away with the moderator.
Yeah.
So after that, we mostly just stayed in the room because we didn't want to go out of the room.
We didn't want to deal with it. So, and the next panel, we saw who the guests were, and we're like, yeah, this will be fine.
Yeah, I don't think I clicked that the Ahsoka TV show was Rosario Dawson, because I know her from a bunch of other stuff and actually do adore her. Not enough to wait in a massively long line to see her, but enough that if I happened to see her in the hallway, I would tell her.
Yeah. But this was Ahsoka and Ezra from the show.
Ehrman. His name's Ehrman.
Ehrman?
Yes.
Is that the actor?
That's what it says, Ehrman Stefani.
Thank you. I keep forgetting his name, and I apologize for that.
Okay,
yes.
The Jedi name is Ezra. Yes.
Yes, the character he plays is Ezra Bridger. But no, this was basic grade panel about talking primarily about Ahsoka and
they got through 3 audience questions.
Yep. No, I think they made it to 4
because they started about 10 minutes late.
Closer to 15.
And then the host had to do her spiel about what was an appropriate question, which took 5 minutes in and of itself. Yeah, plus, now,
before we get onto that part of her intro, so the host comes out and gives talks about how full the room is, and there's people all the way in the back. That room was at most 1/3 full.
Yeah. There are a few people sitting back where we were, but it was less than 20 people.
Yeah. It genuinely feels like she was giving that speech because I'm willing to bet that panel was probably recorded and or live streamed, and they wanted it to seem like the event was fuller than it was.
Yeah.
She was just flat lying.
Yeah.
That room was 1/3 full tops.
Yep.
And that's not a criticism of the guests. That's just, for whatever reason, wasn't as busy a room as the previous one.
And it can be hard to predict that.
Yeah. But so I do not know if she was told she had to say that, or if she was just trying to hype up the room or what. But yeah, she was just talking out of her ass on that one.
Yeah. And then she gave her spiel about what is an appropriate question. A request is not a question. Bloody blue.
Yeah.
Just spare everyone the spiel, which takes 5 minutes, and just if somebody asks an inappropriate question, just wave it off.
Yep.
Everyone else does. People know how to ask questions at cons.
Yep. Yeah, so they brought the guests out. Then they, she asked them a question, which was again a perfectly fine, functional question. And then they did at least get on to the audience questions. I believe my comment to you was, if she asks a second question, they're not going to get to any audience questions.
And I will say they did take the approach of asking or answering Critical Role tried to answer a bunch of questions quickly. They tried to go really in depth on a few questions, and it was a smaller crowd, so I do think that's probably closer to the right strategy generally. And I do appreciate they really respected the questions they were asked a lot. So
yes, again the 2 actual guests I think were very good. They were going in depth and in particular you can tell this is a show that really matters to both of them.
Yeah.
From the way they were talking about it, when. The actor who plays Ezra, who's Ehrman?
Right, I think Eman. Sorry, it's
Eman?
E-A, or it's E-M-A-N.
Yeah.
Eman.
Eman?
I'm sorry.
This is probably...
We're extremely white.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's
we know.
It's problematic, we know. But yeah, when he was talking about, the first scene he actually filmed as Ezra, he was tearing up talking about it, and, it was that was a really good moment in that interview that it was really interesting to see.
Yeah.
No, I felt that. You know,
Yeah,
I
it
get
was
it.
a really, like, having somebody just tear up talking about stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
And they both went a lot in depth, and they were sharing really personal moments, and you could tell they both felt really comfortable on stage, which
Yeah.
is great.
And they were talking about like how important the characters were to them, and like one other thing I do want to shout out is they were talking about the voice actors for for Ahsoka and Ezra as well, and like how much they drew from them, and the fact that like Ashley Eckstein, who played Ahsoka in Clone Wars and Rebels, like got to visit the Ahsoka set, and like how much they love her and that kind of stuff. Like that was really nice to see, because frequently, if you do a live action version of a cartoon, it's not at all uncommon for the live action actors to be a bit hoity-toity about it, and like their live action, so they're better than the originals and the people who originated the character. There was none of that here, and I wanted.
Yeah. And both of these, I think, actors make clear that part of the reason that they took these roles apart, like to the extent that they auditioned and stuff like that, was because they already loved these characters.
Yeah.
Like Rosario Dawson wanted to be Ahsoka for
Yeah.
a really long time, which was awesome. So okay, entertaining, good to sit in the back of.
Yep.
The people who were running it were annoying, but
Yeah, but that's a common problem with moderators.
And
of
I want to
these kind of
emphasize, it's
things.
not this particular moderator. She's told to say all those things.
Yeah, like it's the GalaxyCon spiel basically. It's just it's so unnecessary.
Yep.
Like just get on with it. Like it says something that like most of my favorite versions of this kind of panel are the ones where they just let the audience ask whatever questions they want and just trust these celebrities to be able to moderate their own goddamn panel. Again, the Adam Savage one that we saw was great. He knew what he was doing. He was fabulous. And like, here's the thing: if celebrities want a moderator, that's fine. But half the time, you can tell they don't, and they're actively like fighting against the moderator in order to like give the audience a good experience. So yeah, what did we do after that? Was that when we basically just pivoted into
let's just stay in
3
one
and
panel room?
stayed in there for like 4 hours?
Yep, pretty much. Because
Cool.
we're just like, I don't want to deal with the crowds outside anymore.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we headed back over to panel room 3.
Mhm.
This was the point at which there was the fight with the projector, because again, the stand it was on sucked on toast.
well, at that point, it was kind of giving up the ghost because it was too heavy for the stand, and somebody in the previous panel had clearly moved it off the stand. Oh wait, we did briefly go to the fudge eating competition.
Oh yeah, the fudge eating competition that lasted less than 15 minutes.
Yes, because we got there about like 10 minutes after it started.
Yep.
I just kind of wandered into the back of the room. People were eating fudge, and then
they were done.
Yeah, which again, fudge is not a food that you can have more than people eat for 10 minutes without making themselves incredibly sick, which wound up happening anyway.
Yep.
But you could at least have had multiple rounds of it.
Yeah, but there was plenty of stuff you could have done, but you didn't want to.
Yeah.
Like again, that was probably the amount of fudge they were provided by what I suspect is one of their sponsors.
Yep. For whatever reason, cons sell fudge now. That's like the new thing. Like all of them have fudge stands. I don't get it, but whatever.
To be fair, fudge is actually a pretty good con snack. It's very high in sugar. It's very high in a bunch of other stuff that will like help you through the con.
It's a dopamine hit. Yeah.
It's a dopamine hit. It's tasty.
I
like fudge.
That's fair. Like the freeze-dried candy was the last thing. I feel like this is just a new cycle after the freeze-dried candy.
It's on a similar wavelength, I would agree.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was meh.
Aggressively fine.
Yeah. Apart from that one guy who was thrown up, I hope he was okay.
Yeah. It was unclear how they picked the contestants. I don't really know. It was fine, but they ended in 15 minutes. So then we went across to Shock to the System, the medicine behind the magic. And this is I can tell this person is an academic because that is exactly how I would freaking title a panel.
Yeah.
Way too long. There's a colon in it. Yep. Like, I get it.
But no, we really like this panel. We've actually seen this panel once before at Fan Expo. I want a hat.
Yep.
And no, this is a really, really good panel. Like, I do want to shout out this person. Like, I'm not even necessarily going to say they've done their research. It's just they have a goddamn PhD in the right area. So they did, like, freely admit that they double-checked a lot of stuff and like, checked with other experts to make sure what they were saying was right. But, like, this is somebody who knows what they are talking about. And I love a panel with somebody who knows what they're talking about at, like, an academic expert level.
and is passionate about it and like asks the audience good questions. It's high engagement. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, very Socratic method.
Yep.
Like as they said, like lots of like okay, so this is going on. So what do we think it means? Kind of stuff.
Yeah, I should probably try doing that more with philosophy, but like I think it's just mostly because I actually with actual students more than a lot of people who present. I'm just like I'm afraid if I ask a question, I'm just gonna get a brilliant room.
Yep. But no, we really enjoyed this panel. Like, there's a reason why this was a thing we went to as a refuge from the BS of the rest of the con. Just because we saw this on the schedule, like, do you think that's the same person? It probably is, because like with the best one in the world, there are not many people doing panels on microbiology of sci-fi and fantasy. So we figured it was probably the same person, and we were very happy that it was, because again, like, it was a good panel at Fan Expo, it was a good panel here. Like, we very, very much enjoyed it. Do you have anything more to say on this one?
No, and it was fun. There's not a lot you can say without talking about the panel specifically, and obviously can't do that as well as the presenter. It was fun. It was great. I was entertained. I was glad we went to it.
Yep. They need to watch The Last of Us, though, purely because
they've been asked several questions about The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, yeah, somebody's asked me that question before. I'm like, I think that was asked at Fan Expo, too.
It was. Because again, when you're talking about, like, the science behind zombie viruses, and The Last of Us kind of prides itself on being like the realistic zombie thing, where it's just like, yeah, they're basically zombies, but we like have an actual like scientific reason that makes a certain amount of sense.
They also apparently wrote like a song about, what was it? Some medical thing.
Yeah, some particular fever.
I just want to point out, like, I'm kind of jealous of this person, because in addition to being an MD and a PhD and having a great presentation style and being able to knit, they can also freaking sing.
Yeah.
This person is just great at everything.
Yeah. Yeah, this person is great.
This person is basically a bard.
Yeah.
Like a wizard-bard hybrid thing. Like, how are they that good at everything? They sang in an Australian accent.
Yeah. Dude, stop flashing your lights at me. I am not overtaking this guy on this corner through these roadworks. Anyway. So, after that, we stayed in that room.
Mm-hmm.
And was that the Pictionary after that?
That was Pictionary.
Yeah. So this is Pictionary. Specifically, it is the wrestlers doing Pictionary.
Yep.
They're very bad at it in very entertaining ways.
Yep. It's always a different group of wrestlers. This is interesting because it was after I assume they've wrestled for the day, because wrestling was midday, so this was later. So I assume they just like showered and then came here, which is cool.
Yep.
And I will say the entire like wrestlers who weren't part of the Pictionary panel just came and showed up.
Just kind of turned up, which meant that like they had enough time at the end to do more Pictionary with some of the other wrestlers who just kind of turned up throughout.
Again, the wrestlers just are delightfully disorganized in a way that only they can be, where they didn't realize how long the panel was.
Yep.
They had no idea how many rounds they were going to do.
Yep.
They had no idea when they were going to call people up from the audience.
Yep.
And it still somehow all works.
Yep. Again, they get away on pure charisma, let's be
do.
honest about this. But like they have the charisma to pull it off.
Yep.
It's that simple.
They have the charisma to pull it off, and the stakes are so low that it's impossible to care anyway.
Yep. The one thing I do miss is their easel.
Yeah, the easel that kept falling down.
Yeah, that
this
was
time
always...
they just had people be the easel.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that was the most reliable easel they've ever had.
Yeah. And then they did eventually, I think they did a few rounds, and they let some audience draw some stuff. We both drew stuff.
Yep.
I drew the concept of ennui. I got somebody to guess that.
Yeah, one of the wrestlers did in fact successfully guess the concept of ennui from your picture. So
he was the only one of the wrestlers who knew what the concept was.
Yeah.
So, and then he like wrote it on a board, and he's like, does it have two ends in it? And I'm like, yes, it does. And he's like, it's from a TV show. And I'm like, no, it's a philosophical concept.
Though it does occasionally turn up in TV shows.
So for reference, like, it's part of their characters. A lot of wrestlers like to play up how dumb they are. They're not actually dumb.
No.
But they like to play it as part of their character.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
So yeah. So after that, again, do we have too much more to say about Pictionary?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. What did you have them guess? It was Big Ben, right?
Big Ben.
Because I drew the Eiffel Tower.
You drew the Eiffel Tower, so when I went up, I was just like, Like, okay, I have to draw the most British thing possible to
Mhm.
counterbalance the French thing that you drew.
Yep. So at this point, I think Bridget and James and friend,
Yep.
like messaged they were getting food. We didn't have the energy to walk all the way over to the food court during peak hours,
No.
so we just told them to meet us after the panel.
Yep. Which again, like, I feel bad that because we liked like getting food with the Macons. It's just we did not have the mental energy for
Yeah,
it.
I was in a ball gown. I just did not want to walk across the floor, and I can't eat anyway, which, again, normally doesn't bug me. I love getting food with people, but it's hard to sit at a table in the back area. We didn't know how crowded it was going to be.
Yeah.
And, like, I really wanted to, like, this was the only part of the day where there was actually stuff I was excited to see.
Yep.
So we just kind of stayed. They wound up joining us, I think, for the next panel, which I feel a little bit bad about because I definitely don't think that they enjoyed it. We did.
Yeah, we did, but
We like different things, and that's okay. We go to cons to get different things out of it, but I do appreciate that they at least sat through it so we could have fun.
yeah. Thanks for that, guys.
Thank
Very much
you.
appreciated.
I mean, friend, sorry I keep calling you friend, but I'm trying to anonymize your name, did get a question right, and
Yep.
won something, so that's
Yep.
cool.
They got a... Yeah, so this particular panel was... What's it officially called?
Pointless Nostalgia's Retro Game Showdown, which is their first time. Just because I heard them talking about it afterwards, it was their first time doing this. Basically, this person got a bunch of old kids games that basically you play by rolling dice. Like, all of them, their mechanics are just rolling dice and moving around the board. Well, mine did technically have trivia in it for children.
Yeah, like, these games sucked.
Yeah.
But, like, that was the joke of
Mhm.
playing them. So one of them was like the Alf board game.
Yep.
Which, like, the mechanics of it were kind of terrible.
Yeah, you roll dice, and I think you roll one dice to move your character, and you roll one dice to maneuver a character that can send other people's characters back to the start.
Or yours.
Yeah,
if
which
you get
that
unlucky.
technically means, fun fact, that game can last indefinitely.
Yeah. Like, until somebody manages to slip the noose and get clear of her. Which eventually one of us did.
Yep.
You know, and I was just like, okay, do I play tactically or do I play... Yeah. It's a complex question.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't really that complex.
It was not.
Also, we spent, like, for whatever reason, because the host was giving out trivia, like, bonus prizes for stuff. And one of the trivia's bonus prizes was for the place that you were from.
Yep. Again, like, you know, they
I
asked...
appreciate that, like, we got 6 or 7 guesses before even anyone just mentioned the UK.
Yep.
Before even trying to narrow down the town. And somebody in the audience was confused. Why are people guessing Utah and Australia?
Yep. Australia, I understand. A lot of Americans think I have an Australian accent. I don't.
Yep.
For the record, what if I sounded like, "G'day, mate"? That will be an Australian accent.
I will admit I have trouble differentiating Australian and British sometimes.
Yeah, that's totally bonza, mate. I completely
Stop
understand.
it, you're making my ears hurt.
Can you really not tell the difference between that and my normal voice?
I can tell the difference between you and your normal voice because I know you. There are some people who are a little borderline for me.
That's fair. But yeah, like, for the record, that was a very bad Australian accent.
Yes.
But,
Very bad.
yeah.
So you played Alf the game,
Yes.
and people tried to guess where you were from. You, of course, didn't just do the United Kingdom. You did.
Of course, no. I went right down to my hometown.
Yep.
Which one person in the audience had clearly heard of, because they did eventually get it.
Yep.
With a few clues.
And somebody else was just like, yeah, I'm from Dubai, because we somehow got the first 2 letters of it, which then meant that Dunkirk and Dubai were guessed.
Okay, but before where I'm actually from.
Yep.
So yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, and then there was, I think, another game that was building Snoopy's house, which was the Spin the Thing game. And then there was a final game, which was a Kool-Aid Man-based trivia game.
Yep.
For the record, it was a trivia game that had Kool-Aid Man board theming.
Yep.
That was it.
That was the extent of the Kool-Aid Man.
It was basically just Trivial Pursuit, but, like, it had the Kool-Aid Man, which is a special character to me.
Yep.
Which I did bring up the reason why in the thing, which is just I've written a Kool-Aid Man, like, audio drama.
Yep.
That has been performed 6 times.
Yeah. Everybody likes Kool-Aid Man number 4.
Yep.
He's only allowed to say, "Oh yeah," and yet you have to, like, really convey a range of emotion with it.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
And that one person had just gotten their PhD on the panel, who was another, like, pop culture enthusiast, so they had me talk about my dissertation, and it was super sweet.
Yep.
Like, in a way that only academics let you do.
Yep.
And again, being honored for getting a PhD is nice at a time when it's devalued. So go that person.
Yeah.
And this was very fun. I liked it a lot. I don't think our friends did because it's not their type of thing, but it's very much my type of thing.
Yeah.
So I appreciate them willing to sit through it. So
yeah. So at that point, we left the room. We got a photo because again, like we've been
we
meaning
were
to get
matching
one all day.
costumes today. So and that was fun. Like I do think I want to go around with this all in a group cosplay again in the future. So I'm hoping we can coordinate with them at a smaller con where it's easier for us to just all go around together.
Yeah. Again, if we can manage to meet up with the Merrick and the Weevil and the
some other Yu-Gi-Oh cosplayers, it'd be a lot of fun to just kind of hang out with them in a big cosplay group.
Yep.
Or to enter the runway competition with all of us.
That would be interesting.
And fun.
Yeah.
So after that, we went out. We got a picture with everyone together.
Yep.
And then we thought about going to the Pokemon game show panel, but it was super crowded.
It was completely shocking.
So basically, then you and JP ran and got the cars.
Yep.
While the feminine identifying people stood inside.
Yep.
Because it's winter.
Yep.
No one wanted to go out. It did make me feel better that I wasn't the only one who was like doing it by themselves.
Yeah.
And you guys raced to see who could get back first.
Yep. I won.
By one car.
By one car. It was great. So that was cute. That was a nice way to end the day.
Yeah, again, hanging out with them has by far been the best part of this con.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping we'll be able to do so tomorrow. Might just pal around with them while I get autographs, because honestly, there's not much else to do tomorrow.
Fuck it roll on tomorrow.
Well, if we do that, we can at least review the autograph lines.
Yeah,
I still don't know how I'm going to stand in an autograph line, given I'll be in a ball gown, but you know.
But yeah, so day 2 of this con. It's. I'm trying to remember. What did I call this yesterday? Like a C+ con?
It's still a C+ con.
It might have
Like,
slipped
it
to C-.
definitely has-
I'm not gonna lie.
It has some good moments. It's just, the thing is, Animate, because it doesn't have the crowd, it's at least, it has all the same stuff, but there's less people.
Yep.
Like, other than the celebrities, which we don't care about.
We do not. Not even a little. Like, again, sometimes it's interesting to be in the back of one of those Q&A panels, but like, I don't care. Like, there's maybe a couple of voice actors I'd vaguely be interested in, like, being in their Q&A panel or to actually ask a specific question. It's not a long list.
Yeah. And like, yes, if I could just go up to someone's table for free and like talk to them and ask them questions about their IP in a way that wasn't bothering them or anything else, I probably would do it. But like, it's not really an opportunity you get at these types of cons.
Yeah.
Because I don't care about autographs. Like, part of the issue is like, I know you can technically go by a person's table sometimes to say hi and stuff like that, but like, I honestly feel like because they're there, let's not lie, to make money, that I'm just kind of taking away from them being able to make money if I do that.
And again, like, doing the con scene is actually a very important part of being a voice actor these days, just because, again, like, it's an additional source of income, and they ain't paid well enough for the amount they do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, yeah, day 2 of GalaxyCon, it continues to be
Yeah, I doubt anything's going to happen tomorrow to make it less
Yeah. Like, I don't think there's anything, like, in the paneling that we're super excited about tomorrow.
Not really. We might go to the, like, Midwest Ohio, like, stuff meetup about talking about conventions in Ohio.
Yep.
We'll see. A lot of talking about conventions in Ohio turns to drama very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And we mostly try to stay out of the drama, I'm going to be honest.
Like, again, so far this is easily, like, the harshest we've ever been at a con, on a con.
We were pretty harsh about Fan Expo.
We were.
Like, Fan Expo, I will say, I still think is worse. Because they clear rooms and keep people out of rooms.
Granted, but they also, like, I don't know.
Like, I don't like the policies at Fan Expo more, but people do seem more excited at Fan Expo.
Yeah, like, the people at Fan Expo are just better. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, like, I genuinely don't get the vibe that people are happy to be at this convention, and I don't know if that's just because...
I mean, people are happier than we are, let's be clear.
Yeah.
But I think we have, again, we'll give our final ranking tomorrow.
Yeah. But again, if you compare, like, the vibes to something like Techo, which is also a big con...
I mean, it's significantly less numbers than this.
I know, but, like, that's a con everybody's excited to be at and wants to do stuff, wants to talk to each other. Like here, everybody feels like they're just here to like go into the vendors hall, buy stuff, get an autograph, and like, eh. Like it feels so much more transactional. I don't know. All right, well, we are very nearly home, so at this point, we'll pause the recording and pick it up tomorrow after day 3 when we can, give our final verdict and all of that jazz. So, thank you very, very much for listening, and we'll see you in the next part.
Bye.
Bye. And we are once again back.
We're back.
So we are just, got back on the road, heading home after day 3 of GalaxyCon.
Yeah, thank you for putting up with us being grumpuses the last couple days.
Yeah.
We actually had fun today, I think.
Yeah, today was definitely the best day.
I mean, it was still a fairly typical con day, but it was at least a day that was fun. I think both of us are just like this. Like, it's hard to be in, like, big crowds when most of the big crowds are focused on things you don't want to do and don't really need to be there for the things you actually want to do.
Yep.
Because, like, no one's there to play Pictionary except us.
Yeah.
But I'm there to play Pictionary.
Yep. Whereas, significantly smaller crowd today, which meant you could actually, like, walk down the corridors without, like, needing, I don't know, a giant anime sword to slash the way clear in front of you or something.
And I will say, I suppose it's somewhat of an advantage to GalaxyCon. Like, Sunday does tend to be a full day for them. Like, we're leaving at about the same time we did the last 2 days.
Yep. Yeah, it's about 8:30 now.
Yeah, which we left at like 9ish.
Now, granted, we would have been going home like 2 hours earlier if we hadn't like
got
stayed
pizza.
Chatted with our friends.
But you could have if you had went to the last panel that they had at 6:45 p.m. You could be there until
7:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we were still probably among the last people to leave.
Yeah.
Not counting people who are actually like working for the con and will be doing teardown.
Yeah.
But like, that is just because we had friends we wanted to stay and chat with for a while.
Yeah.
And at this point, like hanging out with them at the Jets Pizza and the food court, because it's the only thing still open at that time, has just become like kind of a tradition of the cons we see them at the convention center. So yeah, like we're definitely in a better mood. Like I'm less pissed off than I've been the last couple of days. Like it still has not been a particularly good con, and it sure as hell has not been worth the money.
No, I've been thinking of ways we might be able to do it next year if we're stuck doing it next year. That might make it a bit more palatable for us. We'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
So we got here 9:30-ish. We were able to get here earlier today because we don't have to pick up a medication.
Yeah, I can't remember if we mentioned that yesterday.
I don't think we did.
We didn't, but yeah, part of the reason we didn't get to the con earlier was just we had to pick up your medication. They've recently changed it so you can't get it early. You have to get it the day you're supposed to run out.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have any wiggle room on that. We had to get it yesterday. And of course the pharmacy doesn't open until 9 on a Saturday. So our drive, pick up the pills as soon as we can, but that still meant we didn't get here until like 10:30.
Yeah. So we got here at 10:30. Or we got here at like 9:30 this morning.
Yeah.
A little bit after. By the time we parked, it was pretty close to 10, which was when the vendors hall opens.
Yeah.
We figured we would tour the vendors hall because we figured it would be a little bit quieter on Sunday, which it was.
Yeah.
But we were mostly there to watch how they managed the line so we could review it.
Yeah.
I probably should also mention I
was
was dressed as Ariel and he's dressed as Eric today.
Yes. So yeah, you're in a big poofy ball gown, as per, red wig.
Yes.
And there were many, many children who came up and interacted with you today because again, you are a Disney princess today.
Yeah, I think if I do this one again at a con, I think we've definitely proven that at a pop culture con with kids, this is a look that works.
Yep.
So we're probably going to do that again.
Yep. And
I'll probably I might get some plastic forks, like dingle hoppers to hand out to the kids just for a cute character interaction.
That'd be cute. It's like a box of cheap plastic forks is pretty easy to do.
Yeah. It's not exciting, but they might like it, so.
It's character appropriate, and that's actually kind of more important than something really exciting.
Yeah.
In that regard.
Yeah, I would get rainbow ones just to make it fun.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yep.
But regardless, so we kind of wandered up and down a little bit in the hall because again, there was no programming on at that time.
No, programming doesn't start till 11 to get you, I guess, into the vendors hall and getting autographs and spending money.
Yeah, there was a speed friending event at 10, and we've done speed friending at other cons and enjoyed it, but I do not want to see what
I don't trust what Galaxy's speed friending con would do.
Yeah, it would probably do something weird and creepy and not understand the purpose.
Yeah.
because GalaxyCon.
But knowing GalaxyCon, they might think it's speed funding in the case of drugs and just give everyone speed.
Okay, they misunderstand stuff, but I don't think they usually misunderstand quite that badly.
That'd be funny though.
It would be very funny. But yeah, so what? Oh yeah, so we were just kind of going up and down, and like we noticed that the line to the vendors hall like started down at the C room, went all the way up, and then split into 5 separate lines, or at the it was only 3 when we started. It was at least 5 by the time they actually opened the doors. Because rather than doing it as a switchback, they were just like creating a new line next to it.
Yeah, and keep in mind there was one giant line that was already snaked down the hallway. Then they chose like the end of the hallway to start new lines that were much shorter.
Yeah.
For no reason. It was very confusing.
Yep.
I do think they had VIP entry early, so those
Yes,
people
I
were
think they
allowed
did. There were definitely some people getting into the hall before that, and I was unclear if those were like VIPs or people who were actually like. If you're running a booth in the hall, you need to get in before the official opening time. That's fine. That I don't have a problem with. But yeah, I'm completely unclear if the people they were letting in were exhibitors or VIPs or what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't really have any interest in actually getting into the vendors hall early, so we just sat and watched the chaos unfold.
Yeah.
I took pictures with small children.
You did. It was fun. Because we are, like, morbid. So we wanted to see how they were going to handle this, and the answer was badly.
Also, I want to point out today in particular, I think maybe just because they had fewer crowds, temperature was bonkers.
Yeah. Like, I can't actually blame this on GalaxyCon. Like,
no, but they definitely have, like, just heat on in different venues, and I will say big spaces with a lot of people in winter are hard to temperature control, but this was aggressively bad by Columbus Convention Center standards.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they just like got the expected numbers of who was going to be in what place wrong or what, but yeah, so quite a few of the bigger rooms were just way colder than they needed to be.
So yeah, we watched, what, you want to explain the chaos that unfolds? Just keep in mind, there's about 20 doors to get into the various...
22.
Yes, you did count, I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 22 doors that could be open to let people in, which has the advantage of, 1, getting people in quicker, and 2, allowing people to be evenly dispersed throughout the venue such that they're not coming in through one entry point.
So instead, what they did was when 10 o'clock came, they just opened the one of the sets of double doors down, of 22 possible sets of double doors, they opened one of them down at the far end and started trooping everybody in.
And I will say this, I respect volunteer staff. That said, a lot of GalaxyCon staff does tend to just kind of yell at people, like kind of aggressively.
Yeah, it's not great.
And they don't seem to understand that, like, this system of having one big long line, then 17 switchbacks that starts halfway down the hall is not an intuitive system to anyone.
Nope.
So some people were getting in line and technically cutting, but I don't think half of them even knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, just best of intentions.
Yeah.
And also, if they cut, I honestly don't blame them, because this is the most nonsensical way to let anyone in the hall, generally.
Yep.
Like, I was rooting for people to cut in line at this point.
Again, I timed it. It took them 15 minutes to get everybody into the hall.
Yeah.
Because they sent everybody in through one goddamn set of double doors.
And then randomly 15 minutes in, they started opening other doors, and it got even more confusing.
Yeah, everybody was just confused at that point.
Like, that's the point in which we entered, because everyone else was entering the door behind us, and it was unclear how much of the line was left. But I want to be clear, like, 95% of the people who were outside had gotten through by that point.
Yeah. And yet, somebody who approached from the other side got actively told they had to go and join the back of the line, even though the line didn't really exist at that point.
Yeah. This was very poorly organized. It seemed like it was trying to make the line bigger than it seemed, so they could get a photo, was your theory?
My theory was that they probably set up a camera towards the bottom of that to, like, have everybody troop in so that they could show, like, time-lapse footage of, like, 2,000 people, however many it was, going into their vendors hall, either as part of their advertisement or just a thing they can show to their investors.
And that's it. Like,
that's my theory.
The inside of the vendors hall wasn't actually that crowded.
Nope.
Like, Sunday's significantly less crowded than their other 2 days, thank God.
Yep.
So,
and they had enough stuff in the vendors hall that it could happily sink that many people.
Yes.
It just... Here's what they should have done. They should have had separate lines outside each of the available doors. Like 3 different lines for each individual hall, then open them all simultaneously. That would have got everybody in less than 5 minutes.
Yep.
And again, you should also have been opening more than one set of double doors at each, because most of the double doors are in like sets, so there'll be like four sets of double doors next to each other. And yet, for whatever reason, you only ever had one set open at each entry point, which I know why you do that. It's so you can badge check. Nobody is ghosting your goddamn vendors hall.
So, well, they might be ghosting for the celebrities, but I still get the idea. And I will say, we talked to somebody from GalaxyCon who clearly indicated that they thought the system was real dumb.
Oh, so,
I'm not going to tell you who this person was or what their role was. We were talking to somebody who clearly was doing something at GalaxyCon while we were line watching, and they kind of line watched with us for like a couple minutes, who commented that they thought the system was dumb.
Yeah, like they didn't outright say that. I want to clarify. That was the vibe they were giving.
Yeah.
It was mostly a case of, yeah, this could be better handled.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say what their role was or what they did, because that's them.
But yeah.
But they were saying that, and then there was one person trying to go up and down the line screaming to restore order to stop people from cutting. That didn't work at all, in part because it was one person.
Yeah.
And in part because the system was stupid and confusing.
Yeah. I suspect they've done this the other days and we just didn't see it.
Yeah, well, we weren't even near the vendor's hall during that time period.
Because we didn't want to deal with the nonsense. So yeah, like, that was not well organized, guys. Like, there were much better options. Like, here's the thing. We've been to Gen Con. I've seen Gen Con's line management when the vendor's hall opens. You guys managed to be worse than them. Good job.
They at least open every door.
Yeah, they do. Because again, they understand how many people they're dealing with and that the priority should be smoothly getting people in and distributing them as evenly as possible, as quickly as possible, so that there aren't like clumps and wedges and like people crammed into specific spaces that become fire hazards.
Yeah, and I found it interesting that later in the day they told us not to stop on the stairs when we were exiting, when we weren't even in a crowd of people. And we weren't stopping on the stairs, we were stopping 20 feet away from the stairs.
Yep.
And that was somehow a problem, but this is not.
Yep. Well, we weren't being used for marketing shots. So yeah, like again, for the record, I have no actual evidence that that's what they were doing.
We were in better spirits today.
We were in better spirits.
Like, we were, because we were mostly making fun of this the entire time.
Yeah, like we were basically just watching this and mocking it.
Yeah. Because this was something we frankly didn't care about. So
yep.
Like, the vendor's hall is a place that we go when we don't have anything better to do, as you know, and like, we did have this conversation a little bit. Like, I don't want to make it seem like if you're a person who likes getting celebrity autographs, that that's a bad thing to be doing at a con.
No, if that's why you came to GalaxyCon, great, have fun with it.
That's just...
It's not us.
We're just not that interested in meeting celebrities. It's not as though, like, if I knew a celebrity and, like, found them in the hallway and could talk to them, like, organically for 20 minutes, I would say no. But, like, that's not an experience they can actually sell me. So...
No.
And I feel weird paying for it.
Yep. Yeah, like, I'm just not interested in paying money to get somebody to talk to me. Like, if I wanted to... There's a dark joke I can make that I'm not going to, but, like, there are plenty of... If you want somebody to talk to you for a while, like, hire a therapist.
Yeah.
In that regard, like...
Well, it's also, like, the people who I feel like I was commenting on this, and I do get it with Critical Role and also Boy Meets World, both of which I've seen a little bit of. Mm-hmm. Like, Boy Meets World has this podcast, and Critical Role is, like, a gang of friends playing, so it's very easy to, like, listen to their content and feel like you're their friend.
Yes.
But you're not actually their friend.
Yeah, it's very easy to get that parasocial relationship going.
And that's not bad. Like, having that is fine. It's fine to feel like you're your friend, as long as you realize that you're not actually.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the thing about meeting them, is it would just remind me that I'm not actually their friend, so it probably wouldn't be that good of an experience.
Yeah. Like, again, there are a couple of celebrities, most of them are voice actors, who I would be interested to talk to from a person who does voice acting occasionally as a hobby. Like, there are elements of the craft I would be kind of fascinated to talk to them about. Mm-hmm. Like, I have a specific question that if I'm ever at a con with Jennifer Hale, I would like to try and ask her, that's about, like, specifically voicing characters that need to sound similar to other characters but not exactly the same, which I think is an interesting, like, slightly technical voice acting question. But, like, I am fully cognizant of the fact that, like, somebody like Jennifer Hale is never going to become my friend. Like, that's fine. I do not ever expect that.
I will say, like, we've never even managed to do it. Like, we did go by the celebrity area after we have gotten in, so we are talking about an experience that I don't think we've ever tried.
Yeah.
Because, Jodie Benson, and this is another thing because we went back by the celebrity area and like looked. Critical Role people had massive lines, which I expect, except Sam for whatever reason.
Yeah, Samurai Gel's line was like half the length of everybody else's for
I
whatever
felt
reason.
bad for him. I like him,
I like them all.
but I was also happy for our friends because I knew they wanted his autograph. So
yes.
I'm happy it was a shorter line.
Yeah,
But
I
some
think
of the
they
other-
managed to get everybody apart from Laura Bailey.
Yeah.
Just because again, her line was completely bonkers.
But like I felt bad just because GalaxyCon has so many celebrities. There's some celebrities that inevitably just don't have a line, which is sad. One of those people was Jodie Benson, and I was dressed as the Little Mermaid, so I thought about talking to her, and then I just didn't because she was talking to somebody else, and I didn't really want to wait even like 2 seconds to try because I was worried about like taking away that other person's interaction time. So yeah, and it's not as though I wouldn't have said hi, but I also didn't want to like buy an autograph, so I felt weird interfering with her. So I'm sure she would have just liked the costume and gotten a kick out of it. But so we did that. We walked around the celebrity area a little bit. Then we walked around the vendors hall and kept a resolve not to buy anything.
Yep. I did take a card from an artist there who had some fun 40k art. You have offered to buy me a commission piece from them as a Christmas present.
I have.
I'm going to contact them, discuss the kind of thing I would want, and see how stupidly expensive it is. Because it's good work.
It is.
I want to clarify, whatever this person wants to charge for it will be like as much as they deserve to get paid. It's whether we can justify it.
Whether I can justify it.
Yeah.
Again, it is technically our money.
Yeah.
Like, we still need to combine our bank accounts.
Oy.
Should probably do that.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do that?
At some point.
Banking is just one of those things that freaks the heck out of all of us.
Yep.
So after that, I need to turn back on the light again. Hooray! So I can remember which celebrity panel we like feebly went into the back of.
Perched in the back of.
Yeah.
Was that point or was that later?
I'm pretty sure that was that point because it was the 11 o'clock time slot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
So we're only in the vendors hall for an hour, so there wasn't much else we could do.
Again, we didn't particularly want to buy anything, and
I walked around the vendors hall for basically an hour for various things. And again, there were some things that were vaguely interesting like that. There was a duck booth artist. For the most part, it's just stuff you see in every vendors hall, though.
Yeah.
And I will say, I respect crochet as an art, but it's kind of an oversaturated market at the moment.
Yes, I would agree.
Like, please make plush. If you like are a plush maker, you're gonna make bank.
Yep.
Just as a tip.
Especially if you go to FurCons.
FurCons.
But yeah, there was one point where somebody made a comment about furries and was like, "Oh God, I'm gonna get punched in the corridor." And my thought was just, "No, you won't. None of them are here. They're all at MFC this weekend." Is it MFC or am I?
Yeah.
MFF. Why do all the furry cons use initials?
I think it's Midwest Fur Fest. The
Midwest
actual
Fur
thing.
Fest, yeah.
Anyway, so we went to the Scream Q&A randomly.
Oh yeah.
In part because it's a big room we can sit in the back of, and in part because it's one of the few rooms that's warm.
Yep.
So.
It was consistently warm all day. That was nice.
And I don't honestly think they intended this when they booked Matthew Illard. I think people were a little bit surprised by how much the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is popular.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As evidenced by the fact that for the most part they haven't been marketing him at all in the materials as Five Nights at Freddy's as opposed to his other work.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that took them by surprise.
Yep.
Because I will say most of the Q&A was directed at him.
Yes.
And we were only half paying attention because we were sitting in the back.
Yeah. Like, again, to be fair, he was talking very enthusiastically about his work on Scream and linking it back to the other people who were there and all that stuff. Like, he was not trying to hog the attention in any way, and he said a lot of very good pro-inclusive LGBTQ stuff. Which I always appreciate when I hear a celebrity say stuff like that because they don't have to say it.
Yeah.
And if they're going out of their way to be positive in that light, it's because it's something they actually believe in. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, otherwise it was a good Q&A. Like, the group got kind of off the rails, but it was fun.
You could tell it was a group of people who've known each other for 25 years.
Well, it's always nice because of how canned corporate cons can make Q&As when you have a bunch of group of people to kind of just cause chaos in them. So It was fun.
It was.
They only got through I think 3 questions, but
yeah. But here's the thing: if it's a con, if it's an audience Q&A that only gets through a few questions because the panelists are going so in depth and talking with so much passion.
Yeah.
I have fewer problems with that than we only got through 3 audience questions because the moderator wouldn't shut the hell up.
Yeah. The moderator, I think, asked one question, then turned it over to audience questions, and they were having a blast answering them.
Yeah. They still had to give their spiel at the start of every thing, which was starting to get on my nerves by the end of the weekend. Like, you're allowed to ask one question. If you want to ask another one, you can go to the back of the line and come through again. Which
a request is not a question. Bloody like, just moderate those situations when they come up.
Yeah,
they don't really come up that often. People understand how to ask questions. If anything, people were extremely professional with asking questions at this con.
Oh yeah. And again, they doubtless put that down to like giving them clear instructions. But boy,
yeah.
But yeah, so again, that was perfectly fine to kind of sit in the back of and just chill. What was the next thing that was in there?
So the next thing that was in there was the Carrie Ellis Q&A. But
Carrie Ellis, yeah.
Messaged Bridget and James. They got through their autograph lines fast because they were, I don't think, there when we got there. I think we got there like 15 minutes after the hall opened.
Somewhere
so we actually missed each other.
Yeah.
They got all their autographs. So they then met us outside the main stage.
Yeah, they basically said, they let us know that they were like in line for the various autograph stuff, and if and when we wanted to like hang out, we said, yeah, cool, we're currently camped in main events, we're happy staying here for the next few hours, or if you want to meet up when you're like done with your autograph stuff, that'd be great too. So yeah, so they kind of, the timing ended up working out so that we dipped after the Scream Q&A, which I've never actually seen Scream, for the record. I'm not much of a horror movie person, even like one that's that notoriously like self-aware.
I like that. Like generally, I do like listening to Q&As at least vaguely in the background, just because most actors obviously are fairly charismatic people, so they can carry Q&As and make them interesting.
Yeah, that's a fair.
And all of this was that case, but I will say for any Q&A that we went to, I think we were only kind of half paying attention to.
Yeah, the most interesting one for me was the Rosario Dawson and Iman, however you pronounce his surname. I apologize. I am aggressively white.
Rosario Dawson's just awesome.
Yeah.
And again, if she was somebody I could just meet in the corridor, I absolutely would, because I love her work.
But at the same time, you're never going to, because they don't let that happen.
No, and that also wouldn't be fair to people in line.
Yeah. I will say this, that Q&A actually started on time, which surprised us. But yeah, so at this point we went out, we met up with Bridget and James and mysterious third person.
Yep. Special mystery guest.
Yeah.
Except we're not revealing the mystery because they don't want us to.
No, which is fine. But yeah, so what did we do after that? Oh yeah, so we kind of just hung around with them for a little bit, had a bit of a chat, and then we went to the panel on all theme parks.
Yes, Pointless Nostalgia Forgotten Theme Parks. This is also by Guy Hutchinson, and again, I'm saying his name because it's
he's
everywhere.
All over the program, it's fine.
He wants his name to be said. I'm very confident on that.
Which is fine.
Markets.
And again, we've seen this panel once before. It's a good panel.
Yes.
Like, we laughed.
We did laugh. And he definitely he's done a lot of work on Forgotten Theme Parks. I think the big one he's worked on is Sesame Street Land, which you mentioned. And there's definitely some information from the last time we saw this, I think at Animate earlier, that I already knew. But he always had some new stuff, and it's never the same presentation twice.
Yes.
Although I still love my favorite is still the clip of, you could even see your name in lights, Jeff.
And then this kid with Jeff written on the back of his t-shirt stands up.
Because clearly, you would just write Jeff on the back of your kid's t-shirt. That's a thing that you would do.
I mean, here's the thing. A bunch of my stuff had name labels in it when I was a kid. Because, you had to, your school PE kit when you're in primary school in the UK has to have name labels in it in case somehow you get it mixed up with another kid's.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was a thing that my mother just sewed into a bunch of my clothes, but
yeah. And this was well done. We laughed. I think Friends also enjoyed this more than the other Guy Hutchinson panel.
Mm-hmm.
They seemed to be enjoying it and having more fun. So.
Yeah.
And they said that they liked it. So
yeah.
And again, it was perfectly paced, fun. One of their many hosts that all somehow look identical joined randomly halfway through the panel.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what that was about. I wasn't sure if he was meant to be there the whole time and just got delayed at something else, or if he just kind of stuck his head in to see how it was going and just kind of got roped in.
Yeah, I don't really know. I say this, I guess, somewhat respectfully. They have a lot of hosts that have the same haircut and all wear the same glasses.
Yeah.
It's kind of confusing.
They do have at least 3 of those.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes. The only way I can tell them apart is the height difference.
And all of them have really weird names.
Like again, I feel like if you could nab all three of them, you could do a pretty good reenactment of the Monty Python class sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's the, I am upper class, I look down on him. Yeah, they deliberately use three people who are different heights for that sketch. So yeah.
Yeah, this was cute. I would definitely go to these again. They've definitely one of the highlights this weekend.
Yep.
So after that, we did more Vendors Hall stuff.
Yep. Again, wandering around with Bridget and James at the time, they bought some Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at various other bits and bobs.
I was given a lot of stuff by random people because I was dressed as Ariel.
Yep. That's always cute when it happens.
From both kids and adults. So.
Yep. You actively got hugged by two children at one point today. That was adorable.
Yep. Kids are great.
They are. And again, like, as I've said before, because of the way you dress, you can frequently just, like, prove to them that magic is real in a way that is so goddamn heartwarming to watch.
Well, it also is kind of a big compliment that I think I do look enough like Ariel in this outfit that they believe that I am Ariel, which is,
You do.
Disney princesses aren't ugly, so it's a nice compliment. We didn't forget my eyelashes today, though.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's fine. It's also cute because, like, you have some bold kids that just come up to you, and then you have, like, some shy ones that, like, want a picture that you kind of have to facilitate the interaction with.
Yeah, the parents are like, do you want to go up and get a picture? And they're, like, half hiding, and it's very cute.
But it's just kind of fun to feel like a theme park princess, effectively. Bridget said they should just hire me to actually just work the crowd.
You'd be good at it. It's mostly just you want to do other stuff.
Yeah. And I wouldn't mind it. Like, and you do get more practice at it the more you do, like, facilitating the interactions and, like, theming character and stuff like that.
Yep. But yeah. So was that the point of when we went to the children's contest, or am I missing something?
First we went to wrestling.
Oh, yes.
Also, before we did that, somebody made an announcement on the loudspeaker saying that there was they would be there until 4. Well, not then, but like the announcement loudspeaker of some of the celebrity. Then Weird Al, who was there this weekend, heard that somebody else got their name announced on the speaker and wanted to do his own announcement that he would be there till 4.
Yeah. And being Weird Al, he did it as a Trump impression.
Yep.
Yep. That was confusing.
It was funny, though.
It was. We were just like, what the hell? Oh, right. It's Weird Al.
Yep. I mean, he got the GalaxyCon staff to let him do that.
Yeah, somehow. GalaxyCon strikes me as the kind of organization that is aggressively apolitical.
Yep. They try real hard.
They try. You could see the moderator in that one panel. We'll talk about that one when we get there.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was Felicia Day.
No.
Okay. So you just mentioned that she was an actor and she looked kind of like Felicia Day. Mostly because she had red hair. But
No.
yeah, you're right that she's a moderator. I was too optimistic. Also, if she was here, we would have known. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was being way too optimistic. We'll talk about that, though.
Yeah.
So after that, we vaguely went over to the wrestling section.
Which, here's the thing. I triple-checked the schedule. There was no show listed at that time of day. And yet there was a show on.
Yeah, it was listed for 5 p.m. at least in the paper schedule. Did you check the online schedule?
I did not.
Okay,
because
so the online schedule,
one uses Eventi, which sucks.
It does, but it probably is more updated. And paper schedule changes happen, and they definitely have been moving all the FSCW stuff up this weekend.
Yeah, it's normally later in the day.
Yeah, they're having it earlier. I guess maybe they want to clear out the vendors hall earlier or something. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's been kind of weird because and normally it's at 5 to 7
Yeah.
kind of vibes, whereas it's been at 2 in the afternoon all
Maybe
weekend.
they're just hoping it'll get more attendance because the hall's more crowded. I don't know.
Goodness knows.
It wasn't it was mildly attended there generally.
Yeah, and again, it was a good show.
It was.
They put on a good show.
It was still kind of GalaxyCon in the fact that the commentators were encouraging people to cheer as opposed to just having it happen organically.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I trust the wrestlers know what they are. They definitely have some super fans, and they work to have those super fans in the show. But they also have a lot of people who just have bags and are sitting down and just are there, and they know that.
Yeah. And again, they put on a good show. They get some good reactions. The people in the front row who got high fives from Luigi as he went past. Good job.
So yeah, we were there for their battle royale match, which is a bunch of people in the ring, and they get pushed out of the rink, which was very cute. I like that fight. And we were there for their final men's championship bout, which was I liked a little bit less, but both were good. So
yep, both were fine.
I think one we just had more theatrics than the other.
Yeah. again, the nature of that kind of Royal Rumble vibe is that just you can do a lot of silly stuff.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm willing to bet that they keep their shows to an hour now.
Could be. Like, they only did 2 things there, so it's possible that started an hour earlier than we got there,
Mm-hmm.
and we just caught, like, the back half of it.
Yep.
But you could be right. Because, again, it's not actually on the schedule, so I don't know. But, yeah. So, again, as per usual, FSCW does do a very good job of, like, wrestling performance stuff. Like, they're good at it. You know, they are all very good at, like, playing their specific characters.
It's very fun. I believe them as the characters. They're having a blast with it, and it's very fun. Like, they're always a great thing to check out if you just have nothing else to do during that time slot, or if you're a fan, which I am. So, like, I think it helps that we, like, know a lot of them personally now. Like, not personally insofar as we're friends, but we've hung out with them in non-wrestling context.
Yeah,
so.
like, at the various panels they do, like, they recognize us at this point just as a kind of, oh, you guys, hey.
And by that, I mean, we're personally friends with Spider-Man, you know?
Do they even have a Spider-Man?
They had Peter Parker for a while.
Yeah,
they do rotate people in and out, and keep in mind with wrestling, oftentimes wrestlers do go to other leagues, so
yeah,
they sometimes switch out who is there.
Yeah. So yeah, there are some people you tend to see, like, that we've definitely seen multiple years, and other people who are, like, you know, new and that kind of stuff, which is fine. So, yeah.
That room was also freezing, by the way.
Yep.
And then we moved to another freezing room. Yay!
Yay! So yeah, so then we decided, okay, you know, Bridget was in the Masquerade, so she had to be over at main events at 4.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically had about an hour left to kill before she had to be over there. So we figured the children's costume contest is going to be going on at 3:15. That'll kill. You know, that should go till about 4 o'clock, and that should work out fine.
Some cute stuff will probably happen,
Yeah.
which it did.
It did. It was a kids' costume contest. It was about what you would expect. Yeah. It was cute.
It did say 13 and under. A couple of the kids looked over 13.
Yeah.
But I'm not, like, going to ask for birth certificates or anything.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's also kind of like, you know, kids' costume contest rules, which is just take who you can get, because
we've been to plenty of, like, things that have a cosplay contests that have a kids category or a youth category or whatever that have, like, 2 entries.
Yeah. I did feel a little bit bad, because I will say that I do think they favored the older kids who are, like, actually making their costumes over younger kids who are just dressing and being cute, which I can understand that, but it seems a little bit unfair to have those 2 groups compete against each other.
Yes, I do kind of agree with you.
Like,
with that said, I do kind of agree with that choice with that best in show.
Yeah, I do agree with their, like, choices that they had. I like them a lot. I just kind of wish that we could, like, maybe divide it into, like, younger kids who have store-bought costumes and older kids who made their costumes.
Yeah.
Just so that the younger kids could maybe have a little bit of more fun. But yeah.
Yeah. But again, they gave out a bunch of awards, like, you know.
Yeah, the winner was an Optimus Prime, which the kid I think was too small to have built by themselves, but I'm sure they helped.
I suspect the parents mostly built that.
But they built, like, an Optimus Prime that collapsed into a car, and the kid knew how to do it. It was very, very cute.
Yeah, like it did the whole transforming thing. It was great.
And then somebody was like a Chimp Chomp thing from Mario.
Yep.
That was cute.
Yep.
And then there was a
Monokuma the bear.
Yeah, from Danganronpa, which was also very, like, fun. A lot of enthusiastic kids, and then some very cute young kids. A Wolverine who was too shy.
The Wolverine who was too shy was adorable.
Yep. The Bluey who was barely old enough to be on stage by themselves. And I think still in diapers.
So yeah, like there was a lot of, like, very cute kids.
My favorite was still the person who, one of the kids broke their leg.
Yep.
And, like,
not on stage, I want to clarify.
Although that is good luck, I guess.
But yeah, they came on stage with their leg booted.
And they were dressed as a Pikachu, and the host was just like, oh, tell me how you broke your leg, hoping it would be a cute story about a kid, like, falling off a bike or something.
Yep. Nope, their cousin ran over their foot.
With a car.
Yep.
The entire audience and the host just broke, because he said that with, like, the kid honesty that children have, where they don't realize, like, why that would be a funny, awkward, or weird thing to say.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I did appreciate the host after that being like, so if you know, he seems like a pretty good pick, because well, there's clearly a cousin who's not afraid to hit people with cars if you don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the host wound up just giving him an award that they weren't even supposed to give out because shenanigans at that point.
Yeah.
Probably because he embarrassed their parents. So
Again, it was pretty funny.
it was.
So yeah, like this was wholesome. It didn't need to be anything more than that.
It was cute. Like, none of the kids were crying, so I consider that a win.
Yep. A couple of them were running around after they got off stage because they were high on the adrenaline,
Yeah.
but that's pretty normal.
Yeah, the Bluey escaped a couple times.
Yep. So yeah. So again, perfectly fine, perfectly fun, perfectly cute.
Yeah.
So at this point, we meandered over to main events.
Yep.
Because, as we said, Bridget was taking part in the cosplay contest. And what we decided to do was James and mysterious other friend opted to stay with Bridget because she had to wait outside because that's where they were going to be like corralling all of the participants in the masquerade. So they hung out with her. We went in and deliberately nabbed some good seats nearest the front.
Which you're allowed to do at GalaxyCon.
Yes.
Also, that room was warm, and we needed that at this point because the kids' costume contest was freezing.
Yep. Yeah, I hope all the kids were wearing warm costumes.
Yeah, so this was Brian O'Halloran.
Yep.
Who was Dante in Clerks is his main role, although I think he does acting and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's done a lot of other stuff by the sound of it.
Yeah.
And again,
I like Clerks. He was a perfectly good actor. This was kind of an awkward Q&A.
wasn't that okay?
It was mostly the host was awkward.
Yeah, well, again, as you said, so he is somebody who clearly has political views and isn't afraid to talk about them.
But and when we're talking about political views, we're talking about political views that generally most people who attend conventions on a regular basis, including ourselves, would endorse. Like, healthcare should be free.
Yep.
Not anything that's like, a dramatically ridiculous take.
Yeah, like, don't be a dick to other people.
Yeah.
But
It wasn't saying anything like, don't vaccinate your kids.
No.
He was saying, healthcare should be free.
Yep. But, like, every time he started talking about anything even slightly political, you could see the fear in the host's eyes.
Yeah.
It's great. I probably shouldn't take as much enjoyment from that as I did, but, like...
Also, there was nobody lined up at his mic, because most of these Q&As, people will be lined up beforehand. There are people who seem just kind of content to sit, so she just asked, 20,000 questions, most about a game show he had been on, weirdly.
Yeah, called The Floor.
Yeah, which I will look up, because I like game shows, but I find it hard to believe that anyone there would have been interested in that.
Who knows?
I don't know. I think a lot of people were just there to sit down and also do the same thing we do, because a lot of people stayed for that and the masquerade, so I think a lot of people just came
to secure seats.
for the masquerade, which is fine.
It's fine.
And it did mean he had more of an audience than they otherwise would have.
Yep.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. He had some interesting stuff to say.
Yeah.
And he did, they did get audience questions eventually after, a little bit of cajoling from the host. Yeah. So.
And the questions the audience asked were good, so.
Yeah. What is this guy in front of us doing?
I don't know.
But yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get there at the beginning, so I don't know if they asked more about the Clerks franchise to begin with, because we were there, a little bit. And I would have liked to know more about, the stuff in there. But in fairness, I could have asked a question. I did not want to ask a question, though. I was right next to the microphone. I could have done it.
Yeah, you didn't want to.
No, I didn't.
But yeah. So, again, perfectly fine, perfectly functional Q&A panel with a terrified host. That was great. I mean, it wasn't quite as good as that moment at Fan Expo where James and Oliver Phelps brought on, members of the audience, and you could see the presenter just,
Well, her voice literally stuttered. She was like, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a moment that'll be hard to top in terms of, scaring the bejesus out of a moderator, but,
yeah.
So, yeah, so at that point, then it was the cosplay masquerade.
Yep.
So we deliberately snagged a couple of seats for
James and Friend.
James and Friend. And the section we were sitting in, which was to the right-hand side of the stage, nobody else tried to sit in that, which was good. So it meant we had a reasonable view. We could see everything fine. And just kind of went from there.
Yeah, I didn't see how crowded the masquerade was. It seemed pretty.
Moderately.
Yeah, I didn't really look behind me. So.
Third to half.
Yeah,
would be my guess.
GalaxyCon is one that does separate them into different shows, which I do appreciate because it means that you can have more contestants in each show.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah, it because here's the thing: when it comes to like masquerade and construction, if you make them one event, you have two options. You either cap numbers to like 20 entrants for masquerade at most, and 40, 50 for construction, or you end up with a show that's 5 hours long.
Yeah.
Like those are your two options, and because GalaxyCon does them as two separate events, that does at least mean that you can get through 30 entrants for a masquerade and also do all the construction stuff you want the previous night. So yeah, at this point we got onto the actual like masquerade.
30 entries.
30 entries.
Bridget was third.
She was number 3.
Which is nice.
Yep.
So she came and sat with us afterwards.
Yeah.
And she also makes bingo cards for us, which are all in good fun.
Yeah. And again, the bingo cards are stuff like K-pop Demon Hunters, Wicked, like it's things
it's just
that
things
are
that are
probably going
likely
to
to
turn
happen, and it's done with love. Obviously,
It is.
Bridget loves masquerades.
She does. Again, it's mostly just a fun little thing for us to kind of do while we're watching. There are some things we are very confident are going to turn up, like hosts vamping. Yeah, that's going to happen. Like idol dances. Yeah, you're going to see some of those. Like all of that jazz.
I think the yippee trend is finally dried down. That's nice.
God for that.
So yeah, there were 30 acts. Obviously, we're not going to review all of them.
No.
We did I'd say, everyone seemed prepared and was like having fun on stage, which is great. And like, I do think the judges had a really hard time because I do think like the quality of masquerade has really gone up in the past couple of years.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that point. It's mostly just with the best will in the world, there was a lot of dancing. Like it was basically there was one skit, one group doing like fight choreography to audio from Dragon Ball. Maybe three live singers, I think, and then 25 people doing dancing.
Yeah, and I will admit, as somebody who used to do skit, part of the reason we stopped doing as many masquerades is just because it's kind of unfair to judge skit, which is primarily a storytelling art, against singing and dance, which is mostly a technique-based art. They're just doing different things.
Yeah.
Like, skits aren't there to show off specific techniques that are hard to do. They're there to tell stories, and those are just different things.
Yeah. So well, again, like we say this, being friends with somebody who is a very talented dancer who was doing dance up there.
Yep.
Again,
I do think dance should definitely have its place on the stage, but it's still the majority of acts a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's mostly just a case of if 25 out of your 30 acts are dance, it gets a little samey. Especially when there are still a fair amount of idol dances, which are, they're not choreographing it themselves, they're just replicating something that already exists, and that's just fundamentally less interesting.
And it is hard to watch them continue to just award dance, basically.
Yeah.
Because it means that stuff that's not technique-based is never going to win at masquerades a lot of the time. Which, again, it's not bad. I definitely think the technique should count, but...
It's mostly just anything more creative tends not to do as well.
Yeah. Well, not the dance isn't creative. Like, Bridget choreographs her entire routine, so that's very creative.
Yeah, I'm specifically talking about things like idol dances.
That's it. Like, a lot of people who I like did win, so...
Yeah.
And a comedy thing at least got a judge's award. This is another thing. I feel like comedy is really undervalued in masquerades.
It really is.
Like, it's considered a low form of art, so it doesn't count, even though, like, getting comedy in a stage for an audience that is not warmed up and has seen a bunch of dancing is really hard.
Yeah, like, that's not easy, and I respect them for that.
Because I've thought about doing comedy skits and stuff as well, and it's hard with an audience that's not primed to laugh.
Yeah. They're just going to be confused most of the time.
Yeah.
There's a reason why most professional comedians have a less well-known comedian go first to just warm the crowd up.
Yeah, this is broader problems with costume contests. It's not really about GalaxyCon. And as usual, I'm not going to say that the winners didn't deserve to win because that's mean, rude, and mean-spirited.
No.
It's just generally because masquerade is such a broad thing and can be so many things, there's a worry about it turning into too much of any one thing, whether that's a technical dance competition or a technical singing competition or something else. And they all tend to be judged differently.
Now, there is one group I specifically want to call out. You violent, damaging bastards.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so one particular group came out, put like a violin down on the stage, and I was just looking at it and go, please do not step on that bow. Like, I know like how fragile those things are. I've seen what happens when somebody steps on a violin bow. Then they picked it up and they started like miming playing. And I was like, ah, dang it! I hope they were actually going to play it. And then they threw it on the goddamn ground. And both, you know, mysterious friend was sitting behind us. Based on Bridget's comment, like she and I both simultaneously like lurched forward and flinched at the same time when they threw the violin. Because again, like she apparently used to play cello.
Yep.
And I still have a violin. I don't play it as much as I probably should, but I do still play it. And yeah, like, oh god, why would you do that, you monsters? So yeah.
So then we left. This is when like somebody was giving me something on the stairs for being dressed as Ariel. Not on the stairs, 20 feet away from the stairs, and somebody screamed at us about it.
Yeah, you didn't even notice, to be
I
fair.
didn't. I was busy talking to somebody and facilitating a character interaction.
Yeah. Whereas they were just like, you can't stand in front of the stairs, you need to keep moving. Because again, they were at that point they were very clearly just trying to get everybody the hell out.
Yep.
Because like that was what, about 7 o'clock?
Yeah. Were the metal detectors still up at that point?
I did not look.
Okay. So then we got pizza.
Then we got pizza.
It's not part of the review. We just talked it with our friends.
Yeah, Jet's Pizza continues to be perfectly reasonable.
Cool. So it's
also the only thing that's open at that time.
Yeah, that's the primary reason why this has become a Sunday tradition every single time we're in this convention center. I hope it continues. It's actually one of my favorite parts of the con.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
So yeah.
So, stuff we didn't do. I need to take this on for stuff we didn't do segment.
Oh, sorry. I turned the light off.
Yes, and it's important. This is an important segment. I sometimes forget to do this segment.
This is fair.
There were a lot of things we didn't do.
There was quite a lot we didn't do.
There is a lot of programming. Most of it's not good.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. Like they have a lot of what I would describe as extremely mediocre programming. Yeah. Actually, can we talk about the one thing that I think is complete dumbassery?
Oh yeah. Well, like first, again, I'm not gonna. There's a bunch of celebrities. Look at GalaxyCon's website to see the celebrities. I'm not gonna list all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is called the Fake It Till You Make It paid workshop for $15.
Yeah.
So workshops at cons you do commonly have to pay for, but that's typically because you're making an item and the $15 covers the cost of materials of that.
Yeah, like one of the ones earlier in the day was like a make a chainmail bracelet thing, $20 cost. That's fine. Like you are paying for the materials to make a bracelet. Mm-hmm. Cool. I'm okay with that.
Is join an award-winning person. I'm not going to say who they are, as they share the tools to improve talents that will boost your confidence and improve public speaking.
It's a motivational workshop. It's just basic motivational speaking, I guarantee you. And that ain't worth paying 15 extra goddamn bucks for.
No, it's not, especially at a con.
Yeah, but it is exactly the kind of thing that a corporate doofus would think people would pay extra money for, because it's the kind of nonsense that CEOs think is good.
I will say this person at least looks like an interesting human being. So I'm not, like, they might have felt pressured into doing this. I really don't want to blame them for this, so. Yeah. So, yeah. They have a lot of audience Q&As. Please just look up the GalaxyCon's website. I don't have any interest in this. The usual, like, cosplay panels, stuff about 3D printing, a lot of workshops where you can make things. A bunch more stuff by Guy Hutchinson. He was working very hard this weekend. He was doing like 6 panels a day.
Yeah.
The WFAC fight stuff. Some stuff with comments, more sketch dueling.
Yep.
All that jazz.
Yep.
D&D Live. I hate watching D&D Live, but it's here.
Yep.
Okay, well, they actually did have celebrities for D&D Live, so like,
cool.
The Clerks actor was in D&D Live.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me based on some of the stuff he was saying on stage.
He probably would have been entertaining in it, though. So.
Yep. Again, we've been to D&D Live panels, though. Yep. Like, there's only so much. Like, ultimately, you're just watching people play D&D, and again, like, I'd rather be playing D&D myself.
Yep.
Sorry.
But it would have been nice if they had gotten the Critical Role people to do it. That room would have been packed.
God, that would have been insane. Like, those people have filled out actual, like, stadiums to do that.
So, top 5 con, or top whatever con moments.
Yep, top 3.
Okay. I think it's my turn to start.
Is it?
I don't know. I thought
Alright.
I let you start at the Star Trek
I
con.
have no idea. You go first.
I will take being dressed as Ariel and having kids come up to me and take pictures because, oh my god, my heart.
I'm going to take watching that line go into the vendor's hall this morning. Like, for whatever reason, I think, like, we've reached the point of maximum, like, this con's kind of sucked on toast in a lot of ways, and we just reached the point where we realized we're just going to have more fun if we stop giving a toss.
Mm-hmm.
So just, we'd reached the point where just, like, pointing and laughing at the ineptitude was just kind of more fun than actually trying to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes that's just, you know, it's as I said to you, it's kind of like watching a car crash in some ways. Like, there's a morbid fascination to it, and if you're in the right state of mind, it's kind of funny in a tragic way.
I will take the board game panel, the 80s board game panel. That was funny. We both got to participate.
Yep.
It was a good crowd. It was fun. I liked it.
That's fair. Probably the kids' cosplay contest, like, it was cute.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to desperately think.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is this?
I do have one more when you're ready.
Why don't you just do yours?
Sure. The microbiologist panel.
Mm.
I really like that panel just because of how goddamn enthusiastic that person is about microbiology.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is something just really nice about listening to an expert in a field who is competent and wants to talk about that thing to you. You know, again, it's nice.
It is.
And that's the main problem I have with GalaxyCon and a lot of their panels is because a lot of the people who do panels at GalaxyCon are people who are being paid by the con to do them. It's their job,
Mm-hmm.
which means they're not particularly passionate about it. They are doing it because they are required to. And that's just not, like, you don't sense the manic excitement from them. Like, about the only one of their regular hosts who you do get that from is Guy Hutchinson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is somebody who loves talking about weird, nostalgic stuff. You know, and will happily talk your ear off about it for hours. Whereas a lot of their other hosts are clearly just, like, doing stuff because they're expected to.
Yeah.
You know, whereas, again, the host of the microbiology panel is a massive goddamn nerd in all of the best ways.
That's fair. I will just take getting pizza with our friends today.
Valid. It has nothing to do with the con other than the fact it was here, but
It counts.
it counts.
So,
Would we go back?
that's a complicated question.
That's a very complicated question. Here's the thing. Normally we basically say if it's in the Columbus Convention Center, we'll go to it just because,
Like,
one, we love the building.
Like, the thing is, Missouri is, like, about this con's level in terms of how much we like it. And it's probably a little better than this con, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
It has less crowds.
Yeah.
So,
like, Missouri, for all its flaws, was more fun than this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like,
the only way I think we could conceivably do this next year, and we might have to, just because, again, this is a hard weekend for us in terms of con. This is one of my busiest weeks of the year. I've joked about going to Midwest Fur Fest this weekend. I don't, like, with the amount of work I'm having to do and the amount of AI proofing I'm having to do, I don't really think that's going to be feasible.
No.
Especially since I have to teach 5 classes in the fall.
Yeah.
Like, this is probably, if we're going to go to a con, the con we have to go to, and that's kind of the reality of it.
Yep.
So I think what we'll probably do next year is just pitch a bunch of panels.
yeah, see if we can get at least some reduction in the cost, because here's the problem. This con cost us $300 plus whatever we spent in, like, parking and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth that.
It's really not.
Not by a long chalk. If we could get, like, half off that, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be, like,
Well, it's
worth
also
it.
like if I pitch panels, at least then I know I'm going to do something fun
Yeah,
because I'm running the panel. So,
but the other thing is that their panel reimbursement kind of sucks
mm-hmm.
insofar as, you know, Starbase Indy that we were at last week, you do one panel, you get a 3-day badge. That's wonderful. Here, you get a free badge for the day you are paneling, and as far as I'm aware, it's just for the one panelist. Yeah, I'm unclear if they like do co-panelists and all that jazz. But the thing is, so you could say, okay, yeah, well, you just do a panel a day, and therefore you get in all days. Yeah, no, you don't know when they're going to schedule your panels. Like, they could put all 3 of them on one day, and then you still only get a 1-day badge, even though you are doing, all of that stuff.
Yeah, and I do suspect, like most panel applications, you'll be able to select at least some preferences that you would prefer. But the thing is, if you put like one panel Friday, one panel Saturday, one panel Sunday, they're going to be like, well, you can obviously be here 3 days, so we'll just put all your panels on one day.
Yep.
Like, it does.
And you can pay for the rest yourself.
Yeah.
Tough shit.
GalaxyCon, I think, would be the type of company to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we don't even want autographs.
Yep.
I just want to play Pictionary with wrestlers.
Yep.
Honestly, I should put that in my top moments, just to be fair.
Yeah. Like, the Pictionary is always fun.
Yeah.
I miss their easel.
The one
Their
that kept
easel
falling down.
sucked. But, like, again, it sucked in a very entertaining way. That's
Yep.
the thing. Like, the easel falling over and them having to, like, use somebody's back because they couldn't figure out how to fix it was great.
Mm.
Oh, one other thing. For the love of God, GalaxyCon, like, buy actual things to put your goddamn projectors on. Because, like, the one in room 3 was literally had, like, a thing of tape underneath it to balance it today.
It's going to break.
Yeah.
Those things are expensive, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was aggressively not worth the money.
Yeah. Like, would we go back only if we could find a way to do it a lot cheaper?
Mm-hmm.
Like, whether that be paneling, whether that be, technically we might be able to ask for press badges.
Yeah.
Not if they actually hear what we've said about them, but,
Well, if they give us press badges, maybe we'll be nicer.
No, we won't. We will then have journalistic integrity.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like...
Which is why you should like and subscribe, by the way, because you could help get us free stuff at cons.
Yep.
Some cons actually have offered that to us already, so thank you to you.
Yep. Oh, wow. That's a lot. Sorry, we're just coming into town now, and all the, like, Christmas lights and random stuff are visible on some of the houses. Some of it's, like, that is a lot.
We need to do the outro.
The outro is always terrible. But yeah, so, again, ultimately it comes down to, would we go back? Maybe. Like, we don't really have a better option for this weekend, but it's mostly, I'm not willing to pay $300 again. It's just not worth that. Not by a long chalk.
No.
Like,
And, like, they do sometimes have random sales. Like, we had an annoying Black Friday sale after we bought friggin' tickets that I'm still annoyed about.
Yep. But yeah, like, ultimately it just comes down to GalaxyCon, you are at best a C-grade con. You're not worth, $150 a ticket.
I mean, they are if people keep going.
Yeah.
But I do think their attendance numbers, based on what we heard, dropped this year.
Yeah.
Like, it was still bonkers crowded, but less crowded than the year before. So they might not be happy with that.
Good. Because, quite frankly, GalaxyCon, you don't deserve the number of people who come to you. Like, I mean that in the harshest way possible. You are not good enough to justify the number of people who come.
Why are you so angry?
Because I'm pissed that this con is doing incredibly well. Like, it's raking in money hand over fist. And a lot of smaller, better, more passionate cons are really struggling.
Well, they don't have the celebrity draw.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
It's just, this is something I think we've both been struggling with a little bit this weekend, although it's making me less angry. I don't really want cons to be about celebrities. Like, I would ideally like cons to have, like, maybe 1 or 2 major celebrities and just have those celebrities be the celebrities of the con. I don't really want a con like GalaxyCon that has 50 different celebrities, because at some point I also just feel bad for the celebrities.
Yep.
Like, not all of them are getting the same amount of attention.
Yep.
Like, I feel bad that the Clerks guy had a basically empty panel of people who were waiting for the masquerade.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel bad that, like, Jodie Benson had an empty table despite being an awesome person.
Yep.
Because everyone was occupied with Critical Role. And, like, not that that group doesn't deserve attention too, but, like, all of these guests really deserve their time to shine.
Yeah.
And, like, a con that, like, got a guest because they loved that guest, and then the guest could do a bunch of stuff with the con, it would be a much better experience, I think, for everyone. Like, yes, it would draw fewer people.
Like, CossyCon just announced that next year they've got the voice actor for Monokuma.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like, I guarantee you, Desi, the person who runs that con, was probably skipping when they found that out, because they love Danganronpa that much. Like, I know that was a passion project to get that person to come.
Mhm.
I am 100% certain of that.
And they will 100% be involved in the Danganronpa panel at KaziCon.
Yeah.
Which, again, it is worth buying a ticket to KaziCon
For
just
that
to go
panel.
to the Danganronpa panel. And I do not say that about anything else.
Yeah.
I'm already looking forward to KaziCon.
Yeah.
It was a good pick.
It was.
So, yeah. The short version is, if another con pops up this year that's even remotely viable for us,
We're going to go to that
we
instead.
probably will.
But that probably won't be.
Well, like, this is the same thing with Missouri. Missouri is the first week of class, too. Both of those are weekends we can't do anything else.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, we can't go on any longer trips. We pretty much have to stick to Columbus.
And it's a 3-day con in a convention center we like.
Yeah.
But it's just, I will say I just like Animate more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because Animate has better stuff, it doesn't.
It doesn't. It's got the same crap.
But it's less crowded.
It's less crowded and it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Which means it doesn't piss me off as much.
And the actors they have are a little bit like...
Lower key?
Yeah, it's more voice actors, but it's just like voice actors who did like a couple things, so...
Yeah, or like, anime stars and that kind of stuff.
And I do find it interesting that people who don't, like... Because I guarantee you GalaxyCon has tried to get people like Sungwon.
Possibly.
And I'm willing to bet he said no.
Again,
for the record, I don't know this.
Yeah. Like, I have no idea.
You're ruining the outro.
In what way am I ruining the outro? We're still talking.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't an outro yet.
We were examining your anger.
Yeah?
Which is weird, because you don't have white male anger like you should.
Yeah, I know. I'm mostly pretty chill. Again, I genuinely think my issue with this con is that it doesn't feel like the people in charge care. Which means that the fact that, like...
Can I briefly have an aside?
Sure.
I didn't shout this person out. Shout out to the child in the children's cosplay competition who was playing Victorian Alistair from Hazbin Hotel.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
Like, that child is my spirit child.
Yep. You vaguely suggested kidnapping them.
I did, but you said no.
Yeah, well, as we've discussed on this podcast previously, don't kidnap children.
Well, hey, kid, if you decide to transition and your parents kick you out, you can come to our house.
Cool.
Well, your parents took you to a con, so I don't think that's like...
Yeah, they're probably pretty cool people.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, yeah, where were we? Oh, yeah.
You were angry at GalaxyCon.
Yeah. It's mostly just... It feels so soulless, is the problem. Like,
Everyone get in line for the stage selfie!
Yeah, like, everything comes down to... They're gonna do it this way for one of two reasons. Either because it's the option that's going to make them the most money, whether that's by cutting corners or whether that's by like charging people extra for stuff, or they're doing it specifically so they can market.
Yeah. Although shout out to the collective of people who are like us and hate the stage selfies.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people who like actively move out of the way of those things like we do.
Yep. Oh, most of the snow's melted today. That's cool.
So that was GalaxyCon 2025.
Yep.
It
sucked.
I think our penultimate con, most likely, of 2025.
Yep.
We might squeeze another one in there.
Yeah, you might try and do that. But yeah, like, basically it comes down to that con, it should have been much better than it was for the money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We are home. We need to get inside.
Our dog's whining. So we'll see you guys later.
Thank you very much for listening. Bye.